This is a test of the City of Palatka audio system.
That was. All right, if we're ready to begin, it's now 1:30. Today's date is June 18th, 2024. We're going to commence the proceedings before the Special Magistrate for Code Enforcement for the City of Palatka. By way of introduction, my name is Ron Brown. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Florida, and pursuant to city code and state statute, I've been appointed by the City Commission of the City of Palatka to preside over today's proceedings. What we'll have today is not a formal court of law. We are not bound by the formal rules of evidence or the formal rules of civil procedures you might find down at the county courthouse. We are, however, bound by some statutory requirements regarding the need to have substantial and competent evidence to support any decision that's made. And that means that any evidence presented must be such that would allow a reasonable person to reach a reasonable conclusion on the matter at hand. Statute also requires that all that evidence shall be sworn. And in a few moments, we'll be taking the sworn statements, or excuse me, the swearing in of the code enforcement officers who will be testifying today. As each of you come up for your case, I will be asking you to identify yourself, and then I will swear you in at that time. But that is a requirement of law, and it is something that we will follow today. The procedure today is pretty straightforward. The city has made some allegations concerning alleged violations of city code, and they're going to present the aspects of the code and the evidence they have in support of their claim that there is a violation. At that time, after that time, the respondents will have ample opportunity to come and make any statements they may wish to make, present any evidence they wish to make regarding the allegations and any defenses that they may have. I may have questions of one or both of the parties, and certainly the parties will have a chance to question each other. Usually doesn't happen, but every now and then the respondents want to ask some questions of code enforcement. Keep in mind, however, that the final decision is going to be made based on the evidence and testimony that's presented today and what I hear and see today. So it's very important that you make your case as clearly and concisely as possible. And if we not talk on top of each other, we're going to take turns. And that's a big issue to making sure everything is done as clearly as possible. We normally take the cases in the order in which they appear on the agenda. However, we do give a courtesy to those persons who are here in person. And based on the timeliness of your arrival, we basically take them on a first come, first served basis. And we're going to do that today. And just by way of introduction, understand that the first two cases involve the same property, but they are different claims regarding the same property. And we'll see if we can keep those separate. So they shouldn't overlap, but we're going to make sure that we have the record as clear as possible regarding which one is which. That being the case, we're going to call the first case, and that's going to be property located, case number 2023-29, property located at 2201 President Street. I understand the owner of record is Edouard Yves Jean Girard. How is that? Is that her husband and wife? Presida is the husband? You've been here before, sir.
That's good.
All right, come up to the microphone for me. I will. Hang on. Yes, let me swear in all of the code enforcement officials first. My bad. Please stand and let the record show that Mr. Green, Mr. Lowe, Mr. Cutright have all stood. Mr. Green, Ms. Lowe, and Mr. Cutright have all stood. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Let the record show that all three have answered in the affirmative. And sir, could you tell us your name and address, please?
My name is Edward I.
Please direct him to turn the microphone on.
Yes, my name is Edward I, and located 2201 President Street. But my wife cannot make it today, but I'll speak up for her. We are the same.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Well, what's going to happen? Ms. Lowe, is this your case?
Yes.
All right. You've been here before, and you understand, I think, the basics of the procedure. And this is the second hearing on this case. So Ms. Lowe is going to make her presentation. Are you seeking a lien today, Ms. Lowe? Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And sir, do you understand what the city is seeking today?
No, I don't understand it because the first time I was here, I had got everything done in less than the time you guys told me. And I was calling the city, nobody answered the phone, and I don't know what's going on.
All right, so you're here today. You received, did you get your notice by certified mail? Did you get a letter by certified mail about today's hearing?
Yes,
All right, you got that. Did you post the property, Ms.
Yes,
Lynn?
sir, I did.
Did you get a notice? Was there some papers left on your property giving you notice of today's proceedings?
yes, I had got that.
All right, so you have both of those.
Yes,
All right, and you're here.
yeah.
Good. All right, so Ms. Lowe is going to discuss with us what the city is seeking. I can tell from just my initial review of the record, just for clarification for your purposes, that they're seeking to have a lien imposed on the property. Do you know what a lien is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, very good. All right, so she's going to talk about that and you'll have a chance to respond. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Lowe.
Yes, sir. This is going to be case number 2023-029, 2201 President Street. This is going to be the second hearing.
What were the violations in the first hearing for the record?
The first hearing was held July 18th, 2023, and he has completed 2 of the violations from the original hearing, which was mold and mildew and rotten weakened wood. So what we have left is section 3169, debris on the roof of the house, section 3032, failure to keep the pathway clear on the budding sidewalk to the road, and section 94-193, parking or storage of unlicensed vehicles and boats.
All right. Have you been in touch with him during the
I've been by
time
there a few
between
times.
these hearings?
No, sir, he hasn't made contact with me since the first hearing, and I've been by his property several times.
Do you have a way to contact him by telephone?
I do. He gave Mr. Green a cell phone number, and I have it now.
All right. So what you're saying that of the original, there were 3 violations, is that correct?
There was a total of 5, and we're down to 3.
3. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, sir. This is the posting of the property.
And before you begin, you're going to show us some photographs today.
That's correct. I
Did
am.
you take these photographs personally?
I did, sir.
And do the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property on the date in which you took them?
That's correct.
Okay, please proceed.
So this photograph was taken on July 18th. This was the second, so it'd be considered 5B. It's just showing existence of unsightly materials.
All right, and just for the record, it looks like this is referencing a violation of section 30-32A subsection 3 of the city code. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And this has to do with the existence of all other objectionable, unsightly, unsanitary matter, materials, and conditions on approved property. Is that the section?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if you go to 5C, this was taken on June 5th. And also I went by this morning, it was the same. So basically what we have is a lot of the debris has been cleaned up. He just has these 2 things. It's like a makeshift wall. And then looks like a grocery cart right there. So those 2 things is what's left.
So could you go back to the previous photograph for me? This is number 5B,
Yes, sir.
and that was taken back in July of last year.
Yes, sir.
And then the current photograph. Right. So there's been some work on the property.
There's been some work. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, may I ask you, how come you didn't get the rest of it cleaned up?
Yes, I did. Absolutely. Yeah. I had a note, something that said that on the 14th of this month, and then because I was doing something inside of my house, I'd put some stuff outside just for a little bit. And then before the 14th, I went and I cleared all of this up. You see what I'm saying? And I had tried to, one time I saw Mr. Green and I was running after him to tell him, to show me if there's something that needs to be done. I could get it done, but he was taking off. I don't know if he was kind of scared or something, but maybe he didn't see me or something. Anyway, so, but you know, I always work things out with him, and I will work things with you guys because this is my city, you know. Imagine like I come and buy a house cash here and you think I will not take care of the city. Like one second, Your Honor, please. It's like you guys have mentioned something like I will need a lawyer. I'm not fighting with you, and I don't want to fight. Why should I fight with you? If there is something to be done, you guys just telling me, I'll get it done.
Well, let me give you some insight. just so you understand.
Mm.
You understand that by not complying with the order, that fines accruing at the rate of, they were accruing at the rate of $150 a day. Did you understand that? We made that clear when we were here before, that if you don't meet the compliance date, a fine start to accrue. And so if you knew that, what was the problem with just getting these last items taken care of?
But I get everything you guys had mentioned. I get it done, and I try to contact the city, and because when I was there, the photograph things it's still right now they are not clear to me. You see what I'm saying? It will be, I believe, like formal with somebody just like tell me, maybe this is something I cannot understand. Like there are things when you guys said like mildew, it was not quite mildew. It was kind of a texture paint. I'm an artist, you see what I'm, so I get it fixed. But if that's why I give him my number, I would please if you guys come like just 1 minute, and then whatever needs to be done. You see what I'm saying?
So you believe that this is satisfying the requirements of the order?
I cannot even understand the picture, like, because it's kind of
But
fluid.
my question is this: if you believe that this satisfies the order, why didn't you get in touch with Ms. Lowe and tell her that you had done the job so that you could avoid the fines?
I had tried and I called it. I couldn't reach nobody answer the phone, and eventually I lost my phone. I lost his number. That's why I just asked him, give me his number, and then I just give him my number.
Well, you live over on Kirby Street, right?
It's President Street.
Or President Street, excuse me. You live on President Street.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
And you got here today. Why
Yes.
couldn't you just come by the office and see her?
Well, I don't know when you guys open or things like that, but I can promise you, if he come tomorrow or whatever, later tonight, he show me something, and he knows I always work with him. I'll get it done because it's like,
All right.
you see what I'm saying?
So Ms. Lowe, what in this photograph still needs to be done to bring it into compliance?
The makeshift, it looks like a part of a garage door that needs to be removed, and the grocery cart needs to be removed in this picture.
All right, none of that requires a permit, does it?
No, sir.
All right. All right, show me what else you have.
So the next photograph is going to be 6B from the original case. That was the follow-up. It still had some matters and materials left out. And then
Is this the same violation?
This is the same, yes, sir.
Okay.
So basically 6C was taken this morning, June 18th. The only thing really on this one is where the arrows are pointing, it's actually leaning towards the sidewalk. So if he just puts that on his property, it'll be off the sidewalk. And that part will be clear.
Excuse me, what is that? What is it exactly?
The lattice that in the metal pole that you have on the sidewalk, that needs to be off the sidewalk.
The white crisscross fence
Correct.
on the property?
Yes, sir.
If you cannot see those.
Oh, you're talking about the aluminum
Yeah,
thing?
look on the photograph, and there's the little arrow, there's a little plus right here. You see it? When I stand in front of the screen, it helps you see better.
This thing? Oh, this was taken this morning, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, I see what happened.
Okay, you need to go back to the microphone. You need to go back to the microphone, sir. Okay?
Yeah, I'll get that done as soon as I walk back to. What happened, I have a boat inside, and then it was a little bit too big, so I'm gonna move it to another location, and I'll get that thing done.
And again, I must ask you, why haven't you removed it before now?
No, that was just 2 days ago. I put it in this gate. I put it because the boat was outside. So I understand, when I get the letter, I say, maybe that's what bothering you guys. I say, let me read. And then when I put it inside, it was a little bit like probably 2 inch outside, so I'm going to get it done as soon as I would like.
So Ms. Lowe, what's the only thing in that photograph when we're looking at number 6C that is required for compliance with section 30-32A3?
Yes, sir. For this particular photograph, he is going to have to move the metal pole, and the metal pole is kind of holding the stuff. So if he pushes everything back, it's
This is the
about,
metal pole in front of the lattice
it's in
work.
front of the lattice. So if everything goes back, I believe it's about 6 to 8 inches, and then it's going to be off the sidewalk.
Okay. That's still the one remaining violation.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else on that violation?
Not on that one, no, sir.
What about the second continuing violation?
So if you go to 7B, this is going to be, it was taken on July 18th, 2023. And then if you go to 7C, this is the photo now of, you can't see the boat anymore, but it's still there. It's just got debris and materials now on top of it.
Just for a record, I'm looking at the original violations in the document that you provided.
Yes,
In
sir.
your agenda. And it talks about 30-32A 12. And this is 3.
The existence of all other objectionable, unsightly, and unsanitary matter, materials, and conditions on improved property.
Right. So just make sure
Yes, sir.
which one is still.
Well, the other one was abutting the streets and sidewalks, so it's underneath the same 30-32. For one's A and one's A12.
All right. Well, this photograph deals with A3.
A3, yes,
So
sir.
this was the first violation again?
This was the first one. If you go back to 7B, this is what it looked like on our hearing from the first magistrate hearing on July 18th.
So this is still 30-32A.
Yes, sir.
3,
So
not
now
12.
it's kind of had stuff added to it.
Has it been added to it since the
Yes,
date
sir.
of the
So
hearing?
if you go to 7C, now it has the fencing, but it has all the debris. See where that arrow is? And then the boat's still there. It's just kind of covered with materials. I'm not exactly sure what the material is.
Sir, can you tell us what it is in this photograph 7C? You see where the little arrow is? Looks like there's some white material covering something.
Actually, Your Honor, I'm an artist. It looks like a boat. You know, I'm using what I'm doing. It's a sculpture that I'm building, and those are material that I'm fixing the sculpture for art exhibit. Okay. Actually, guys, I'm inviting you in a couple of days. I'm doing my first art exhibit
Right.
here.
Well,
Is
that
if you
wasn't
guys
there
agree.
at the previous hearing.
Correct.
Now, is that the subject of another violation?
No, it's the boat is still there. You can see the boat. The
Okay.
boat needs to remove from the front yard. It's
All right. So he still needs to remove the boat. The boat
No.
is what the issue was. All right, what next?
yes, sir. And then you have this is taken on July 18th. It's 8B. It's the front of his house. It actually had almost all of it cleaned up. And
So this is
so right here. you can see-
30-32A
Yes, sir. He had
3, A3, not 12.
no, sir. And then if you go to 8C, you can see where the objects are. This is what's left. The only thing that's left now is this little buggy, and I'm not exactly sure what that is, but that just needs to be removed.
I've been removed
All right.
away.
Oh,
Sorry.
Let me have a moment. It looks, okay. It looks like what was cited was like the A12, which had the failure of the owner of land to keep any sidewalk abutting thereon and all parkways to the curb line free and clear of weeds, undergrowth, rubbish, debris, and trash. So that was the same issue in all the photographs you've shown us to this point. Is
So
that
far.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And the original violation was 30-32A12, correct?
Correct.
So basically what's happening here is from a point on the property, the sidewalk in front of the house, is that correct?
Yes, sir. And on the side.
And the parkways and the curb line. So basically we're talking about in front of the house up to the sidewalk or the curb, at the curb?
Yes, sir. It's actually a dual siding. So you have Cleveland and President that has a sidewalk, and all that stuff needs to be cleared off of the sidewalk.
All right, that's basically what this is about.
Correct.
All right. So just curious, why are you putting things in front of your house on the sidewalk?
Okay, Your Honor, you guys have told me like if anything, if it's behind my fence, so I build the fence. So the boat is inside behind the fence. It's not just like something that I would go, it's behind. I have a fence. It's in my property behind the fence. Okay.
Well, look at this photo here. I'm looking at number 8C. So this, well, that's the one we're on now. And Ms. Lowe, where's the affected area here? Where's
This
the
is,
curb?
this is off of Cleveland,
So this house faces two streets?
faces two streets.
So you've
Yes,
got
sir.
two curbs and two
Yes, sir.
rights of way. Okay. So this is between the house and the curb on the Cleveland Street
Cleveland.
sidewalk.
Yes, sir.
Go back one. We're going back now to President Street. Is this President Street?
No, that's gonna be Cleveland.
So,
It's basically the same picture, just, different stuff. He's done different stuff.
so is the stuff in the first picture gone or? is
He
this-
almost had this cleared up on the first hearing. But this is what was left, just that little bit of debris.
Right, so it looks like what the city's looking for is to have this sidewalk cleared off.
Yes,
You
it's
can't
clear.
put it,
It's
you know
clear
why,
now.
you know why it's important to have sidewalks cleared? Because people can't walk on it.
Yes, I understand that. Your
Okay.
Honor.
And there's a reason why it's done, but it poses a safety issue. So
Yeah,
that sidewalk, these sidewalks around your house need to be cleared.
okay, it's done already. It's clear now.
Well, when was this picture taken?
That was taken this morning, sir.
Oh, that's the other street. Okay,
Correct.
I was thinking where I have my fence with my artwork. Yeah, I thought, okay, yeah, this. When I go back, I'll move this right away. When I go right now.
Well, you needed to have done it before now. And you have to see what the city wants to do. All right, we're still on that one violation. Anything else on that one?
No, sir, that's
What's the second one that remains outstanding?
94-193, the parking.
And this is
storage.
parking or storage of unlicensed vehicles and commercial vehicles in residential zones due to boats, trailers, trucks, cars in the yard, front yard, side yard that do not have proper registration.
Correct.
All right,
So this was taken, this is gonna be 9B, it was taken July 18th, and we had discussed that the boats needed to show registration, and they also needed to be stored in the backyard or an enclosed building. And this boat is still, if you go to 9C, the boat is actually still there, but there's new debris on there, but the actual complaint was for the boat.
so what, the compliance will be what? Removing the boat?
Removing the boat to where it can be visibly seen from Cleveland or President.
All right, is there more than one now?
That's gonna be it on that.
All right, so what about the boats in the yard?
Okay, like I said, this is not.
has
a
been
boat-
ongoing
okay,
also.
Okay, this is not a boat, it's a piece of sculpture I'm building.
That's a
Okay,
sculpture?
yes, that's what I'm building. And I have to do a show, like watercraft shows, the art, this is why I'm doing, you see, I just spent a lot of money to get this form to finish it and then to organize the show. Actually, I will need a permit to do the exhibition, of the art here.
Well, Ms. Lowe, I want to ask you, what differentiates, he's saying it's a sculpture and you think it's a boat.
Well, I mean, I have the picture. It's definitely a boat. It's on a boat trailer and
Is there, what color is it? Was it made of? Is there any? Okay, you're still, okay, Sir Lincoln, this is picture 9B. So your statement is today that the picture we're looking at, which appears to be, it looks like a boat to me on a trailer. It has a bow like a boat. It looks like it's made out of material. It's typical of a boat. It is on a boat trailer. It looks like it has a freeboard in the front. It looks like it has some railing on it.
Any sculpture over any design, it will look like it, So
Yeah.
that's it's I'm working on it. That's what all those from those white things you see. That's what to build the styrofoam to do what I'm doing.
So
It's
your
all
idea,
those-
your idea is that the artwork is to create something that looks exactly like a boat.
Yeah, it's my artwork.
Well, you understand that it looks like a boat to me, just looking at the.
Well, but
photograph.
it's not a boat. It's a
Well, actually it
sculpture.
is.
Well, it's not
Yeah,
because
right.
I'm an artist. I'm the creator. I'm creating something. an
I'm
artist.
hard pressed to find out that that's artwork instead of a boat. I mean, you can argue, you can design a boat and say, oh, this is very artistic. It's not nice shapes and colors and so forth, but it's a boat on a trailer, the way this photo looks.
Your Honor, as an artist, you may take anything. I can take this and I convert it and I make a piece of art out of it.
All right. All right. Is there anything else regarding this violation, Ms. Love?
No, sir.
All right. So this was the same boat that was here in the previous.
Yes, sir.
All right. The third one remaining is, what's that, 30-169 building fronts?
Yes, sir. We have that one, which is going to be 14B.
Okay. Is this on the front elevation of the house?
Yeah, 14B is going to be on Cleveland Avenue.
Okay, this is the side elevation.
Yes, sir.
And this is, what is this?
This photo was taken July 18th. There's some debris and some, it was tarps and stuff that was supposed to be removed off the top of the house. And then if you go to 14C, it's still there.
All right, so
I'm
this
not
is-
sure what it is. It's poles and tarps and I'm not exactly sure what it all is, but it's all still on top of the house.
All right. And there's been no change in this property since the
Some
order finding
of it,
violation?
just some of it was removed, but then it was a small amount.
All right. So the city is seeking the imposition of a lien and the recordation of same, correct?
That's correct,
All
sir.
right. What are the total fines that the city indicates have now accrued on this property since the date of compliance?
The compliance date was November 15th, 2023, and since then we're at total of $26,575.
Now, you said there's been some compliance with 2 other charges?
I took 2
Does
of
this
those
total
off.
take into account the
Yes, sir.
fact that the compliance has occurred?
Yes, sir.
So it would have been more had there
It
been
would have
all
been more,
5.
yes, sir.
Now, the city charges, what are we charging on this, 25?
It's, right now it's $75 a day.
Is it
It was
$25
$120.
per violation?
25 per violation.
So the city charges, has asked for, and the order granted, a fine of $25 per day per violation. There were originally 5 violations. So after the compliance date, if those violations had not been cured, $150 a day accrued in fines. Now, once the violations were taken care of, the 2 that were taken care of, those $25 a day fines went off and it went down to $75 a day. Now, if that was in November, this is what, June? So we're looking at mostly 7 months of this. A lot of money has piled up in terms of being due on this. The city really doesn't want your money. What they want you to do is to fix this property and to bring it into compliance.
Okay, Your Honor, I understand. And like I just said, if any of my brothers, sisters would come and really show me, and this thing that you see that cover is some stuff that I cover my the tops, my
Well, cover
artwork,
19 was cover 19 was not really an issue in 2023.
He said cover his art.
Oh, covered, okay.
Yeah, and
Speak
then-
into the mic for me, it would help me a lot.
yeah, and also there are certain things when it comes to the photograph. When I was here before, I couldn't understand, because it's kind of flu. I don't mean I would ask maybe something from the camera was out of focus. Maybe some kind of, like a car, they need to do service and some cars, and maybe the camera needs to get some service too, because that's why I would like them to come and then really show me, and then I'll take care of it,
Well,
See what I'm saying?
you've had a chance to take care of it since last November. And
I
this is
did check-
June,
I'm sorry.
and we're still here again, taking a look at this problem. The city wants some compliance from you. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you that from what I have seen today, that 3 of these problems still remain unsatisfied. The sidewalks around your house need to be completely cleared.
Mhm.
The boat needs to go. I'm not convinced that it's a work of art. It may be a work of art in terms of its design and so forth, but it's a boat on a trailer which violates a code. And the material on the roof has been pretty much there since last November. Those things need to be addressed. And they're trying to give you time to do that without charging you any fines, but it hasn't been done yet. It
Well-
needs to be done.
Okay, I don't wanna like fight with anybody beliefs, but my belief is that I have the right to work, to do my artwork, because that's what I do for a living. And this is my artwork that I'm working with the boat and my property, and it's behind the fence.
Yeah. Well, I wish I
Okay.
could tell you that property ownership just had absolute rights to do anything you want with your property, but it does not. And the city has a right to impose certain reasonable regulations on the use of the property, which affect its use and its appearance and its value. And these regulations are there, and if you wish to challenge them, that's another place you can do that, but not here. The problem I have is, from your viewpoint, is that I'm looking at 7 months after the order was issued finding a violation, some of the violations continue. Now, I will give you credit. You've done some work on some of them, but some of the rest of them are going to have to be addressed. So here's what's going to happen. The city, I think, has made its case that there's reason to find that 3 of these violations continue. That's the violation of 30-32A regarding the sidewalks being blocked by materials. And that's a safety hazard. There's a good reason that those need to be taken out immediately. Secondly, that there is a boat and trailer on your property in violation of city code. And thirdly, that there's material, man-made material on your roof that's not supposed to be there. That needs to be taken care of. The city has requested, and they are entitled to, a lien on your property. The reason I asked if you knew what a lien was, that this is an official document that when they record it, sits there. And do you live in this property? It's your homestead?
Yes, it's my
Okay.
property.
If it's your homestead, they can't foreclose that lien, but if you ever try to sell your property, that lien's got to be paid. And just because they put the lien on it doesn't mean the fines don't continue to accrue. So it's going to cost $75 a day, every day, until you solve these problems.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor, may I speak now?
And you give you one last statement, yes, sir?
Okay. I understand that the city has the right, to do some type of regulation, but like, there is what's called human rights, okay? And therefore, there is a difference between regulation and a right, a law. You see, if you guys would you prove me like by the U.S. Constitution, where is the law that I don't have as a human right to work my artwork and my property, so I must move my artwork that I'm working on. You see, the other part, like from the sidewalk, I would work with it. But to move my sculpture, I don't believe, it's and I don't want to fight with nobody. I'm not there, for that. All I want to do is working, because that's my human rights to work for a living. All of you guys, you are working, so I have the right to work too. Otherwise, it's like, it sounds like it's kind of some kind of arbitrary, like, oh, somebody's kind of like a tyrant me, it's because like everybody has the right to send their kids to school. I have the right to send my kids to school too.
All
you
right,
see?
I'm going to stop you there and let me tell you why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've spent 37 years doing this, and I have a surprisingly large amount of experience with First Amendment issues and the free expression and so forth. And I've quite a bit of experience coming with planning and zoning. And I got to tell you, I understand your arguments, I understand where you're coming from, but I also think that as a matter of law, and you need to get your own attorney on this, because I'm not your attorney. And it's not something I decide here. The only thing I decide here is whether there's a violation. But there's some legal issues on both sides of this. But right now, until another court tells me differently or tells the city attorney differently here, the city has a right to enforce these ordinances. And so they're going to do that. And you have to make some decisions as to how you want to respond to that. So I'm going to enter an order finding that it's appropriate to enter a lien on the property. And the total amount of liens accruing as of today's date is $26,575. Those liens will continue to accrue at the rate of $25 per day per violation until these violations are satisfied, or that lien is satisfied. Okay, and this is a legal issue. Once they record that lien on the public records, it's going to become a burden on your property. It needs to be taken care of. All right. All right, we're
Sir,
gonna
if I
conclude
could
that.
add one thing, please. I did just look it up on the Putnam County Tax Collector's Office, and this property is not homesteaded. So if this is your primary residence, I would go ahead and go to the Putnam County Tax Collector's Office to homestead your property.
What you mean like homestead? Who?
Here's what happens. If you don't do what she says, the city could decide,
Mhm.
and with that, we'll have a third hearing to foreclose that lien, and they'll have the property sold at a judicial sale.
It's my property, it's my home. I buy it. I paid cash for my home. It's my
You
home.
understand?
Homestead
The
agreement.
law allows the city to have the property sold to the highest bidder at a judicial sale. So you need
I
to
mean,
take care of this.
it's like, I feel like my life, you guys threatening my life, like in a sense.
She gave you some advice. You should probably
Well, I mean,
listen to
that's
it.
what you guys telling me as a violation. It's my right
All right.
to
Well, that's not-
survive,
that's
to
not
live.
something
If you
we can-
oppose somebody of living, it's like you murdering
And
them.
with all due respect, that's not something, we talked about this, I think enough at this point. You've had a chance to be heard. I think it's time to move on. So we're going to conclude that case. Don't go away because you're the subject of the next case. This is going to be case number 2023-217. Again, the property is 2201 President Street. Owner of record is your first name Ives?
Yes,
Ives and last name Edward.
yes,
Correct. And you are he, correct?
yes,
All right. And you've been previously sworn in as a witness, correct?
yes.
All right. And this case is Miss Lowe's. It looks to me like what the city is alleging is a violation of section 94-187 subsection B. Is that correct, Miss Lowe?
That's correct, sir.
Regarding fences. And that section provides that any fence erected or maintained along or adjacent to a lot line to a height not exceeding 6 feet in height. No solid fence or walls to be constructed forward of the established building line in the front yards. And what I understand is that there's a solid fence past the front of the building, and the wall has been structured to make the fence in the front yard out of materials of metal or plastic. All right, you're going to straighten out with the proper materials for me?
That's correct.
All
sir.
right, sir, you've been sworn in. You are here. Did you get notice of this hearing by mail?
This hearing?
Did you get it? Did you get a letter concerning this hearing?
Yeah,
Okay, did you post the property?
Yes, sir, I did.
And was there a document posted on your property concerning the hearing?
yeah,
All right, you got both of those.
yes.
All right, very good. That's all I wanted to know. And you're here today. All right, Ms. Lowe.
Yes, sir. This is going to be case number, new complaint, 2023-217-2201 President Street for the record.
Are you going to show us some demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
Did you take the photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir, I
And
did.
do the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property on the date in which you took them?
Yes, sir, they did.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, sir. This is going to be 94-187. No solid fence or wall shall be constructed forward of the established building. And basically, this is going to be 1A when I went out on November 27, 2023. And you can see where his fence, the green fence with the red fence is correct. It is in the back of the building. And then he has built a new fence since the last hearing. And it's a purple solid fence.
All right, well, let me clarify one thing if I may.
Yes, sir.
Concerning this ordinance, the ordinance states that there should be, let me look at the exact language.
Yes, sir.
Setbacks. On residentially zoned property, Fences and walls used as fences may be erected or maintained along or adjacent to a lot line to a height not exceeding 6 feet. Any fence constructed forward of the lot line shall not be over 4 feet in height. However, no solid fence or wall should be constructed. So it's not where the building is, it's where the lot line is.
Correct.
So where's the lot line?
So where the proper fencing that he has, the green and red fence, that's correct. The new current fence on this complaint is where the solid purple fence is. It's above the, it's in the front yard. So if you look at 1A and then 1B will show you the rest of the purple fence, the solid fence. That's
All right, so I'm looking at a purple and yellow fence,
right. So this here is in the front yard. It goes all the way from the
and this
front.
is on President Street,
This is going to be on Cleveland side.
Cleveland Street, okay. To side lot.
Yes, sir. And that's adjacent to the front of the house.
Well, the ordinance talks about the front building line. Is-
Right. And this is all in like the way the house is, this all goes to the front yard. So it's,
Okay. So so you consider anything facing the street a front line?
well, it's above the house. So the green fence is correct. It touches the back side of the structure and it goes around.
Okay,
And it says, the way the ordinance reads, anything forward of the structure of the house cannot, he can have a fence, it just cannot be solid.
all right, so we've got fences on both.
It is on
So
the-
I have to weigh in
Are you having
here.
fun yet?
Yeah, well, because our planning director recently had to analyze this exact issue for the Historic Preservation Board. And it is the front building line is established where the house sits extending to the side. So fences cannot be forward of that front building facade, but anything behind that would be permissible.
Right.
So I don't know if that helps
Yeah.
shed anything.
I just make sure we're on the same page, because you got fences on two streets, right?
Correct.
All right.
He's got a different fence. This is just on the Cleveland side.
So it's the building line, are we on the same page, whether it's talking about building line or of like where it's permissible to build or where the building actually is?
From my understood, it's the way I read it, it's where the structure is forward.
Okay. All right, go forward. So we got two streets and two building lines.
Correct.
All right, I'm looking at Cleveland Street in photo 1B.
Yes,
And so
sir.
that, you're saying that fence is in an incorrect location.
Correct.
Where
He
should
can have a
it, where
fence.
should it be?
No, he can have a fence. It just cannot be solid. He can have a solid fence. Where his solid fence is correct. This fence here can't be a solid wall.
Okay,
The fence placement is fine. It's the solid wall.
all right. That's on Cleveland. What about, go back to President Street then? What material would be acceptable there?
Well, this is.
Go back to Cleveland Street? What-
Yeah, they're both Cleveland. This is the same side.
Okay. So what material would be acceptable?
Regular fence, I believe they can do the picket wood, they can do the chain link. It just cannot be solid fence.
There a
And
height
it cannot be
limitation?
over 6 feet.
Okay.
And
Does
this
that
one.
require a building permit of any type? Okay. All right, that's on Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
What about President?
So President, if you go to 2A. So the complaint here is that he did a constructed type fence and there's several materials. And honestly, me and Mr. Cutright, we discussed this and we're kind of unsure if the neighbors actually want the fence to come down and the proper fence to be put up, but we've looked at it. Some of it's fencing, some of it's plastic. It's a little mixture, but none of it's solid.
There's nothing in the code about what it can't be, other than it can't be solid, correct?
Can't be solid or no solid fence or wall shall be constructed forward of the established building lines. So
Well, it's not, what I'm looking at, it's just blue railed fence that has decorative art on it.
right.
So the city taking position, that's not solid.
So the only issue really, it's not solid. It's just some areas it's over 4 foot. So it basically, if he would just change the front of the fence to make sure it's all at least 4 foot.
So does that also apply to the Cleveland Street?
No, that is a solid wall.
But it's Cleveland, I thought you had to take the solid wall out of Cleveland Street. So it's a statement that they're going to be 4 feet high also apply to
Correct.
Cleveland
It's-
Street.
Yes, but this is actually President Street that we're looking at.
All right. Well, I'm sure I'm understanding, because
Yes,
if
sir.
you tell him he's got to be in compliance, he needs to understand what he needs to do,
Okay.
preferably before he leaves here today. So back to Cleveland Street, what's going to bring that fence? Can he put in a 4-foot fence that you can see through on that street?
That's correct, sir.
All right, he has to take down the solid fence, put in 4-foot fence. So that
Correct.
applies to Cleveland Street as well as President Street.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you put that artwork up?
I don't see where he can't put it up.
All right. I'm not suggesting that he do that.
Right. No, I mean, there's nothing saying he can't have that. I mean, to me, that's not graffiti. So
And how high is this fence?
there's some areas it's a little over 4 foot.
How do you know?
Well, because I'm 5'5". And I
Did you like take measure?
Well, I just kind of walked along the sidewalk, honestly, sir.
So is it taller than you?
Yes, in some spots it is.
Okay, what else?
And that's gonna be it on this case, sir.
So this violation deals with the fact that there is a fence taller than you, over 5'5", in an area where the code only allows fences 4 feet high.
That's correct, sir.
And that the fences on both President, well, this fence would be fine if it were 4 feet high.
Correct.
On the Cleveland Street side, it needs to be a fence of, it could be like this fence as long as it was only 4 feet high, but it has to at least be able to be see-through. It could be chain link, it could be something else.
Yes, sir.
So how much time do you want to give him for compliance?
Yes, sir. We're asking for 60 days, and that would be August 17th, 2024 to be
How
coming in
much-
compliance.
Violation per violation? How much fine per violation?
It's
are you
one
looking?
violation, $25.
All right. Mr. Edward,
Yes, Your Honor.
it just never ceases for you. Okay, do you understand what the city is claiming?
Well, what I understand is it's kind of somebody's jeopardize a case on me, which it doesn't really worry me. You know what I'm saying? What happened? Okay, the ordinance said, okay, you can have from 4 feet to 6 feet. You cannot go past 6 feet. And my fence, it's not over 6 feet.
Well, how high
Okay.
is it in your estimate? How do you know how high it is?
I have the measure, and I mean, you guys can bring a tape measure.
Okay. well, she
I went
says
to school. I
she's
know
five-
how to
she's
measure.
5'5", and the fence is taller than she is.
It's 6 feet. That's what the fence
Okay, well,
is.
6 feet is not, according to the city, 6 feet is not a legal height. It can only be 4 feet.
The ordinance says it's from 4 to 6 feet. You cannot go above that. That's what the ordinance
It
says.
says it's not.
And I read it.
It
I have
says
the
on
paper.
residential zone property, fence may be erected, maintained along or adjacent lot line to a height not exceeding 6 feet, but any fence constructed forward of the front building line shall not exceed 4 feet.
But on the other side, where she said it's a solid,
Well, the
Fence?
city thinks that all the fence should be 4 feet. The front, I'm convinced of this, the front, she's 5'5", the fence, and you said the fence is 6 feet, so the fence is 6 feet.
yes, and both
Right.
sides.
And so it can't be but 4 feet high. The problem with the Cleveland Street side, you can't see through it.
But why it say 4 to 6 feet? That's what I read. And when I was
No,
here
it's not
before,
the way
that's
it
what you
works.
guys
It's
said.
not or. It's 4 feet on the front lot line. That fence has to be 4 feet according to the city code. That's not a board. You don't get 6 feet there.
A lot of things that you guys telling me, saying, and I see it, it's like a selective harassment. I'm not trying to be mean but I've seen things that you bring up here and I get picture. I think I go all over the place. It's like somebody's nagging on me, like picking on me. It's a selective harassment, you know?
Well, on the side one, it's a solid fence. It's going to need to be made a see-through fence.
Okay, I can arrange that. So, okay, with the solid, but in the front, like, I don't see where you guys can, you prove it to me like it must be 4 feet. I don't see it. Like, excuse me. Could you show me please?
Where is the section about the solid fence, Ms. Lowe?
It is going to be section 94-187B.
Was he noticed of that?
Yes, sir, it was.
Do
Okay,
you know if I have a
This is
copy
the
of
other
that
case.
language?
excuse me, I'm gonna go online with the city ordinance.
Yes, so let me give you a look what we're trying to talk. So what Mr. Brown and this is your house,
Yeah,
okay, this is your fence. Being that your house is on two front street, it has to be visibility for traffic coming both ways. So you can't have solid fences or 6 feet tall fences. Since it's in the front, it has to be 4 feet and it has to be a chain link type fence. So we can have visibility on both sides when they come up.
what about like if I cut this and then make this like separate fence and a separate one?
But still, you have that solid fence on Cleveland has to come down. And
Okay.
and that fence on that side can't be no more than 4 feet tall.
Okay,
And this is no more than 4 feet tall. And it has to be open like fence, chain links. You can pick a fence that you can still see through. So ongoing traffic can see what's coming from both sides. It's a safety issue more than anything too.
So would you please, let me go online to see the ordinance, or you can show it
I'm
to
gonna
me.
give this to you.
This is yours too.
It's up. They've got it up right here. So this here is my cell phone number. So if you call me, I will come out to your house and we'll go over each thing one by one, so you'll know, okay? But you have to call me and make an appointment, and I will do that for you,
Okay,
okay? And then this is a copy here of what we went over today. You got copies for each case.
Ms. Lowe, just make sure I understand exactly what the city's coming from, and you got to deal with your language, it's not mine.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at what's up here. It says residentially zoned property, which I understand that it is. Fences, walls used as fences may be erected or maintained along adjacent to a lot line to its height not exceeding 6 feet, which the Cleveland Street is. Any fence constructed forward of the established front building line shall not be over 4 feet in height. However, no solid fence or wall should be constructed forward of the established building line in front yards. So how does Cleveland Street satisfy that?
Cleveland,
So Cleveland Street, the way his house is, you're looking at the side of his house. So the solid fence now has been put up. It starts about, I'm going to estimate 6 feet from where the beginning of his house starts. And it's a solid straight line all the way to the road of President Street. And you cannot see, once you're coming down Cleveland, you cannot see what's coming from President Street through that solid fence.
Well, I understand that. My question went to the argument about the front yard and the front building line. And is that relevant to Cleveland Street?
No, it's not relevant in Cleveland.
And
It's just
why is he here on Cleveland Street?
because it's a dual frontage.
I'm sorry?
His house sits on the corner, so you have Cleveland and you have President.
So the city code says that any yard that fronts a street to front yard?
It goes right along the front of the side part of the yard.
All right, Mr. Edward, anything else you want to bring up?
all I see, I feel like my life is threatened by I'm getting like really
You've
tired
had,
by
you've
the
had kind of a
city.
rough patch here with code enforcement. I know that. But, and understand something, I wish I could tell you, just because you think it should be a certain way, doesn't mean that's the way it should be with regard to the situation.
No, I'm not better than anybody. I'm down to work with everybody, but sometimes people, they just fool people. They just take advantage, because they abuse the law. Because, and no one is above the law. And I understand that. You see what I'm saying? And
All right. I think we're going to conclude the testimony and evidence at this point. We have one alleged violation on the front, on the President Street side, which appears that that fence is too high. It's 6 feet high. That fence needs to be 4 feet. It can be of the same material, but it needs to be 4 feet high. And, the decorations, the city doesn't seem to think that's an issue at this point in time. I can't say, they haven't cited anything to me that said it is or isn't, but you need a 4-foot fence there. City's taking the position that you also need a 4-foot see-through fence on Cleveland Street because it fronts a street.
when I was here on the
Let me tell you
first,
what- okay,
so-
we're done. I just want to tell you what they're saying. Can you get this done in 60 days?
no,
Why
no,
not?
no, I can't because it's a lot of work.
I'm sorry?
It's a lot of work. Like when I was here before,
I tell
You
you,
had-
I tell
when
you, I tell you what would bring it into compliance. You can take it down. You can take the fences down with being compliance. You don't have to have a fence.
well, they say whatever I have in my yard, I need a fence. I need it behind the fence. That's what you told
If
me
you
and
need
when
a
I was here.
fence- If you need a fence, the city's saying you need to get the fences replaced at the proper height within 60 days. And that's going to be on August 17th of this year. If you don't, it's going to be a $25 a day fine. There's just one fine, one violation,
One violation. yes.
$25 a day.
So what about when I'm calling the city, like nobody's answer and
Which is, I mean, what's not clear?
when like like you guys tell me to do this, to do that, and then when I'm done and I mean to have like an inspections, maybe I need to arrange something and I
Do what
cannot
you need
reach
to-
no one, nobody.
Does that cell phone in your hand work?
Yeah.
Does
Yes.
it work?
Yes.
All right, when you need to give your number to Miss Lowe and Miss Lowe needs to give her number to you, right? And if you call her and she doesn't answer it, you're gonna be able to come to the next hearing and show me your cell phone where you
Okay.
called her and she didn't answer it.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of the great things about those is that it's evidence that you made an effort to try to talk to her because you said you tried to call her and she didn't.
No, that
That's
was
fine.
not the city,
understand,
the
but
city, the number.
Make sure you, and I'd like you to do, but and we're going to conclude this in about 30 seconds. I'd like you to, talk with her, make sure you trade cell phones and other ways to communicate so that when you brought this into compliance, you can get in touch with her, okay?
Okay.
All right.
My number's on both of those papers.
It's 386. 1, 3. 9.
Miss Lowe, you have his number.
I do, I got it from Mr. Green.
And Mr. Edward, I just have to
Yes.
tell you, you're a very interesting person, and I think you're an asset to the community, but you're not a person who's gonna go unnoticed. So keep in mind, a lot of people are watching what's gonna happen next, and they're all neighbors.
Well, it's like sometimes people are neighbors can have problem with me, but I don't have no problem with
See, I'm a
them.
neighbor.
Maybe they don't like my big nose or something, but
I just
it's
think
all
you're
right.
you're a colorful member of the community. I think we should have, more opportunities for variety, but nonetheless, stay in touch with people and find out what you can and can't do. It really makes life easier. All right, do you have that number?
Yes, I'm trying to call it to make sure it's right.
Yeah, I've got you now.
And let the record show we've concluded this hearing. All right, we need to move on, sir. If you would go ahead and move away, we need to take our next case.
I'll talk to you a little bit more when we walk out.
Okay there.
Grab all your. Get that my card, keep that my.
What's that?
Okay, cool. Okay, you guys be blessed.
Thank you. All right, we're now going to begin with return with case number 2024. We're back on, I'm sorry, Sonny. Case number 2424001. Oh my goodness, the beginning of a new year. It's like the owner of record is Wewood Palatka LLC, property located at 913 Reed Street. Do we have a representative from Wewood Palatka LLC?
Yes, Mr. Magistrate, my name is Byron Flagg. I'm an attorney with the law firm Gray Robinson. I'm the property owner's attorney, and the owner has joined by Zoom. His name is Joseph Stadler.
Will he be testifying?
Yes, just briefly.
All right. When we get, okay, circuit, let the record show we have the owner on record. Mr. Statler, is that your name, Joseph Statler?
Stadler, yes, sir.
All right, we hear that, can we pick that up okay, Sonny? All right, could you, and your attorney has identified you, so I'm going to take that as being something resembling identification on a Zoom meeting. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you should give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and let the record show we don't swear in attorneys. They're making arguments, they're not giving testimony. If he tries it, we'll look at that from that standpoint. And thank you all for coming today. Thank you for your patience with the process. Whose case is this?
Mine.
Mr. Green, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
This looks like a property 913 Reed Street. There are 4 alleged violations. One of section 30-169 mold and mildew, deteriorating paint, 30-169 decorative elements, 30-171 broken windows, and 30-32A11 fencing and disrepair.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Green, tell me what you have.
Okay, was first observed 010324. I sent the notes for him.
My bad. Just to make sure I got the record, did we get a signed green card back?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we have a good address.
Yes, sir.
These individuals, very good, and they are here. Very
Yes, sir.
good. All right, please proceed.
Notice of hearing was sent out 5/16/24. The green card did come back. Complex posting was posted at 5/16/24. And site posting was 5/16/24 also. So we start off with our 1A. This picture was taken 03/12/24, and the violations are mold and mildew and the broken windows.
All right, and just for the record, we're looking at ordinance 30-169,
Yes, sir.
and this talks about deteriorating paint, mold, and mildew, where surfaces were once painted or stained, but not more than 10% of the surface may be free of paint or stain.
Yes, sir.
And then mildew should be cleaned from buildings having street visibility. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And then also 3171, the broken windows.
What street?
This
from
is
what
8th Street.
Is this visible?
8th Street.
Which one?
8th.
8th Street?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the 8th Street elevation in photo 1A.
Yes, sir.
Did I ask you about the photos? I did ask you about the photos. Okay. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
And this is picture 1B, this is taken 6/13/2024.
Okay, back to 1A. Tell me what's wrong with
The
building.
mold and mildew on the back of the building, and then you have the broken windows at the top.
All right, so the broken windows is 30-171.
Yes, sir.
So the top of what?
The top of the building, the ones at the top, the second floor rather.
Okay. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 large windows on the left side of the brick edifice, and I'm looking on the right side. It looks like I've got 12.
2. Yes, sir.
So how many of those are broken?
It's 2.
Which ones?
It's the 4th one, and then the
You got a pointer?
fifth one,
Which ones?
the fourth one and the fifth one, or the sixth one. 1, 2, 3, 4
So
right
the,
there.
the three large ones on the left are okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so on the
The
right
fourth one.
side of the group of 12,
Yeah. The top fourth one and the top sixth.
okay, very good. So two windows there.
And then you have the mold and mildew on the whole building.
All right, so what's the solution other?
They could pressure wash that building and get the mold and mildew off, and then I guess they could find some slides to replace those, or they could board them up.
All right. So on that photo is mold and mildew and windows.
Yes, sir.
So tell me which mold, where the mold and mildew that
The
city finds problematic?
black's material on the building in the rear.
In the rear?
Yes,
Not
sir.
on the roof?
No, sir.
Roof's okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We haven't challenged that yet.
So you basically want this elevation pressure washed.
Yes, sir.
Does it have to be completely pressure washed? or
Yes,
just
sir.
Get the mildew. off?
The mold and mildew completely off the building.
It's more than 10%, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next,
This is picture 1B. This is
same
back good.
elevation.
Yes, sir. So just taking 6/13, 2024.
All right. This was on 6/13.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This picture was taken 3/12, 2024, and this is on 9th Street. This is the other side of that building that was taken on 8th Street.
Okay.
And you have the mold and mildew.
What building does this used to be? What we use?
My table First Baptist Church.
Okay. very good. But basically you're pressure washing that building on.
Yes, sir.
the sidewalks. Okay, what next?
And this picture was taken, this is 1B, this picture taken 6/13, 2024. Same elevation, 9th Street.
Okay. And again, pressure washing.
Yes.
All right.
And this next is the next violation, decorative elements. The decorative elements in disrepair, and this is from Reed Street.
So that's signage?
Yes, sir, was.
Okay. Well, it's a sign. What's in disrepair about it? There's not.
It's not a sign, the sign is gone, it's just there.
Well,
It's
a
in
sign- It's
disrepair.
the sign frame.
Yes, sir, it was a sign frame, it was, and it left.
Well, okay, so they need to put a sign in there?
They could take it down,
They
or they
can
could put a sign there.
If they take down a sign in this
Uh-huh.
town, there are towns where you can take down a sign and it's really hard to put it back up.
Yes, sir.
No, trust me. Billboards,
Yes, sir.
signs on right,
Yes, they have to get a-
properties that
they have
face
to-
rights of way. So if he takes down that sign, are you going to give him any grief about putting it back up?
I'm not, maybe the zoning and planning will.
You think I'm kidding?
I know
People
you're
have
not
fought
kidding.
over these
I know
signs.
you're not kidding.
All right.
Okay, this is
You're
take-
on the record saying we wouldn't have any trouble putting that back up.
I said I wouldn't, I said
Okay,
zoning and.
Well-
I do need the record to reflect that code enforcement can't speak on behalf of
Yeah, I
planning
can
and
see
zoning.
where zoning and planning.
Well, no, the reason I bring that up
Yes,
is
sir.
if you tell him it's compliance to take it down, that's true, but he'll have to figure his own way out to sort out whether he can put it back up.
Yes, sir.
He'll have to have someone else in the city regarding that solution.
Yes, sir.
So again, that's the sign holder without the sign, and that's a violation.
Yes, sir.
What part of the code are we looking at?
I was looking at decorative elements,
I'm sorry?
decorative elements.
It said all this is 30-169, all deteriorated structural and decorative elements visible from a public right of way shall be repaired or replaced. Needs to be structurally sound. City doesn't think that's structurally unsound, do they? I'm sure you haven't climbed up there to take a look.
No, sir.
All right, so we need to either put a sign in there or take it down.
Take it down.
Can he put a sign in there?
Yes, he can.
Okay. But he can do either one.
Either one.
My point is, I want him to know when he leaves here, what the
Yes.
sign says. All right,
Repair, or replace.
all right. Well, all he has to do is put a sign in. I mean, is there anything? I'm not gonna get into anymore. He needs to prepare it.
Or replace.
Okay. All right, what next?
This is 3B. This is taking 6/13, same picture. Same elevation from Reed Street.
All right, again, we're looking at 30-169 decorative elements regarding the signage.
Yes, sir.
All right,
And this is from Reed Street,
this is 4A.
4A3, taking 3/12, 24, mold and mildew and deteriorating paint.
So specifically, where on that photo are you looking for compliance?
The side, the steps and the columns and the doors.
Okay.
A pressure wash and remove the deteriorating paint off of the doors and replace it with a fresh, even coat of paint
On what?
on the doors. Yes,
On the
sir.
doors?
On the doors.
What about the steps?
And if you pressure wash it and the paint is coming off, you need to also put a fresh, even coat of paint on the steps
Right.
and the columns.
All right, what else?
This picture was taken, this is 4B, this picture taken 6/13/2024. Same elevation from Reed Street.
What next?
And this is 5B, this is east side of the building. Steps and the door have a deteriorating paint and mold and mildew, and this was taken 3/12/2024.
Right.
Taken from Reed Street, and a pressure wash and remove the deteriorating paint and like fresh, even coat of paint.
So we're basically looking at pressure washing the steps, painting the door, painting the steps.
Yes, sir.
The brick, all right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
you've got some, is that mildew on the
It's a little bit of
tops
mildew, we
of
pressure
the
wash that also. Yes, sir.
balustrades there?
Sir.
Is that mildew on top of the balustrade?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, what next?
This is 5B, this was taken 6/13/2024, same elevation from Reed Street.
All right, this is still mold and mildew.
Yes,
Still
sir.
the paint on the steps, paint on the door.
Yes, sir.
What next?
This is above those steps, west, on the west side of the building, and the soffit, I want to call it, need to be pressure washed and all the deteriorating paint removed from, and the mold and mildew, and a fresh coat of paint.
The brick looks okay up there.
Yes, sir.
Fine, so we're just looking at the soffit work.
Yes,
Soffit
sir.
work
Yes, sir.
itself is okay, it just needs to be cleaned and painted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What next?
This is 6B, same elevation from Reed Street. This picture was taken 6/13/2024.
All right, same issue.
Yes, sir.
All right, next.
This is 7A. This picture was taken 3/12/2024. The overgrass grown is gone, but the fencing and disrepair is still there.
So that they have to,
They can
they can
repair,
just take the fence down?
repair or replace.
All right, and you use a chain link fence?
Yes, sir.
Is there a height limitation?
No, sir.
Okay,
It's a,
what next?
this is 7B. This was taken 6/13/2024, and the fencing is still in disrepair.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
So as I read this, from what you're telling me, you're looking at basically mold and mildew on the front elevations and side elevation on the brickwork. 2 broken windows
Yes, sir.
on one of the side elevations.
Yes, sir.
You're looking at some mold and mildew on the entryway doors and steps.
Yes, sir.
You need a repainting on the 2 doors that are on the entryways
Yes, sir.
on the sides. And there's some work that needs to be done on cleaning and painting some of the decorative material on the side elevations of the building.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right. How much time are you asking for?
120 days.
Okay.
That'd be
that's
October 16th.
And what amount of fine are you asking per day?
That'd be $100 a day.
That's $25 per day per violation.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Mr. Statler and his attorney are here. They're basically looking at a fairly straightforward to me, just it needs to be pressure washed, painted, a couple of windows boarded up and repaired, or either boarded up or repaired, and some painting. Is that clear to everybody? Have you got any issues?
Yes, sir, Mr. Magistrate. For the record, Byron Flag, attorney we would.
Mr. Flag, if you could just hit the button on the mic.
Yes.
Sorry, yes, understood, Mr. Magistrate. And for the record, this is Byron Flag, attorney for Wewood Palatka LLC. If I may, I'd just like to ask just a couple of questions of my client, Mr. Stadlin. Mr. Stadlin, what's your role at the company named Palatka LLC?
I'm the owner.
And when did your company buy this property?
Last year, March 2023.
So you've owned the property for a little bit over a year.
Yes, sir.
And when you bought the property, how would you describe the condition of the property?
As is, where is, as you see it today.
And you're willing to stipulate and agree that the photographs that code enforcement has provided in the record are true and accurate depictions of what it looks like now?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plans in terms of renovation or reconstruction? What are you doing to look at the property right now?
The intent is an adaptive reuse to convert this property because of its frontage into commercial. We've engaged both a national architect and more recently a local architect, engineer, and general contractor. Ironically, due to my own error in scheduling, I'll actually be in Palatka tomorrow on site with them.
And what are you hoping to accomplish with talking to those folks and planning to, what is your ultimate plan to come back to the city and request?
Ideally, again, it's to create a multi-tenant commercial building. However, due to the age, knowing what we do or what we did going into it, there are some structural concerns that we first must analyze. So we have two very different paths of either trying to restore and subdivide this building, or alternatively, if it becomes cost prohibitive, we must fully level and then build an entire new building. We're currently in the study aspect of seeing what can be salvaged and the cost to accomplish that, to save the building.
And is what code enforcement recommending, what they have recommended to the magistrate to enter into as a final order today, 120 days to come into compliance with the things that you've heard them ask you to come into compliance with, is that sufficient for you to accomplish, or would you request from this magistrate the ability to come back to the magistrate in 120 days and potentially amend a final order depending on what your consultants are advising and recommending, or potentially would you be okay with 120 days to come back and show that you've either received a permit for complete renovation or demolition? Would you be willing to agree to those types of conditions?
I'm internally optimistic that the current vendors will be able to determine and create plans one way or the other. Within 120 days, again, I am optimistic that we will be able to submit either a demo permit and or a full renovation permit, at which point all of the issues will be addressed.
And last question, is it your understanding based on the due diligence that you did when purchasing this property that the prior owner owned this property for at least over 10 years?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Magistrate.
And Mr. Statler, you've owned the property for about a year now, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you been making efforts to contact city officials regarding your plans for the building?
No, not yet. We're first doing the studies on the structural, the architectural, and at the same concurrently finding suitable tenants.
All right. Mr. Green, you've heard an interesting request. What's your response from the city's viewpoint? And while you're thinking about it, let me interject one thing. And just so everybody knows, and I'm sure your attorney has been through these before, for better or worse, in code enforcement proceedings. The city doesn't really want anyone's money. What they want is some compliance with the issues at hand. And these cases come before us not so much because the city goes out looking for complaints, but because people complain. And it becomes an issue. And this is a very prominent building on a very prominent right of way. It gets a lot of attention out there. And it's even more peculiar because I can remember when, was it Reed Street?
Yes, sir.
Reed Street was 2 lanes and brick, and
Yeah.
this building was a lot farther away from the right of way than it is today. And this thing's right on it. So it gets a lot of attention out there, and a lot of people would like to see something done with it. And to your credit, you've acquired it and you do have some plans to do that. But generally, when the city's looking for some kind of delay, if you will, is some kind of good faith belief it's going to happen. And Mr. Green, and you had a little chance to give some thought
usually we
about
give-
this. He's indicating he bought the building and he wants to try to make some plans to use it. At the same time, I mean, I think I've got basis to find violations, but what we're coming down to is how much time.
Yes, sir. We usually give that, if you think anything being done gonna need permits?
Currently or planned?
Yes, we plan.
Let me ask you, when do you think you could begin the permit process?
We're still in the design and exploratory. The answer is I don't know.
Well, how much time do you think it's going to take to get to the permitting stage?
Yeah.
I think that's probably 60 to 90 days to actually complete permits, assuming that we are rehabilitating the building. If not, I could be in there with a demo permit in a matter of 2 weeks, but that is the last case scenario.
Okay.
Mr. Green, I'm open to what the city's recommendation is. Again, I just give this blanket admonition to everyone. Just be careful. If you ask for something, make sure you can follow up. And that's all that the city's basically looking for here is some good faith effort to deal with this. So we're here now. I mean, I can issue an order finding the violations, which I think I do exist. They're relatively minor in terms of trying to fix it. But delaying it and the public looks at it and says, you know, nothing's happening on this building, that's a problem. And so they need some good faith belief that something's gonna happen. Right now, they're giving you 120 days. I mean, it sounds like you might be able to get something done in 120 days. I can do this. I can say, you know, I'll give you 120 days to either get some permits to get some kind of work done on this or to get the violation solved. But at that point, it might come back here. Mr. Green, how's that work with you? Mr. Cutright's now back with us.
So he's asking that he need more time than 120 days, or
No,
I heard of 2 weeks.
We're talking about applying for a permit for renovation or demolition of the
Yeah,
building.
he said he's not sure what he's gonna need to be done because he needs to get his contractors in and
Okay.
get.
So what the city stands right now is that we'll give you 120 days to apply for all the permits that you need to do your work, and then you'll get the permit expiration date to get the.
So he needs to apply for the permits in 120 days. Can
Yes.
that be done, Mr. Statler?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if it can't be done, you and your attorney need to get in touch with Mr. Cutright and Mr. Green, all right? All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find that there are sufficient evidence to find violations of section 30-169 of the city code, mold and mildew on the front elevations of the building. 30-169, basically the decorative element, which is the sign. 30-171, 2 broken windows, and 30-32, A11, the fencing in disrepair. That fencing is something you might want to look at just for security standpoint. But nonetheless, we will give you 120 days up until the end of business on October 16, 2024, in order to get some permits in line for the renovation and or demolition of the structure, or to affect the repairs that would be required to satisfy the violations. If there's a lack of compliance on October 17th, 2024, fines of $25 per day per violation will commence, and that's a pretty low rate. It's about as low as anybody gives you. Just from my viewpoint, we appreciate what you're doing, and certainly we'd like to see a good faith effort, and thank you for bringing legal counsel. He had to sit here through some hearings today. Sorry, that's going to cost you the same hourly rate it did for him to actually talk to us, but not the way it works. And again, it's a good faith effort. You know, the community really appreciates people come in and try to address some of these properties. Again, this is a pretty prominent building, probably has a lot of uses. But nonetheless, we wish you a lot of luck with it, and we hope we don't see you again at this hearing.
Fair enough.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for coming today and your patience. Right. We'll do one more. We may take a break. We've been out here this hour and a half already. All right, let's proceed next. Believe that we have one more respondent present. This is case number 2023-12 28, property located at 426 Kirby Street, is that correct? And the owner of record is Alan Sheffield. Mr. Sheffield here. Mr. Sheffield, thank you for coming today. We appreciate your patience also with the process. Some days it's, some days I'm gone by now. Some days it looks like I want to still be here for a while. Amazingly enough, they're paying me the same amount of money regardless of how many of these days it has.
Highway robbery.
It's a terrible situation. All right. So you own the property at 426 Kirby Street?
Yes, I
All
do.
right. Could you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I
All
do.
right. You've been here for a while. You've seen this operate. Whose case? Ms. Lowe? Ms. Lowe is going to present her allegations. It looks like you have two allegations, one involving section 30-169 of the city code, building fronts and sides abutting public streets or areas due to mold and mildew, and 30-32A prohibited conditions of public nuisances, the buildings deteriorating. You need to give me some details on that. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir. This is going to be case number 2023-028, 426 Kirby Street, Palatka, Florida. This is the second hearing. The first hearing was held on March 21st, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Basically, we had three violations, roofing and disrepair, mold and mildew, and rot, weakened wood, building deteriorating.
All right, you're about to show us some photographs.
Yes, sir. This is
Did you
just,
take the photographs you're about to show us?
yes, sir. I
And do
did.
the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property on date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed. Just for the record, did you sign the green card? Was there a green card?
Yes,
signed?
sir. There was a green card.
So we have a good address on you?
Yes.
Did you post the property?
Yes, sir. I did.
Okay, and did you see the posting on the property?
Yes, I did.
So you got two forms of notice. That's what the
Absolutely.
statute requires. One or the other has to work. So but you're here. So thank you for that. All right, Ms. Lowe.
Yes, sir. And this picture is going to be 1B. It was taken on the original case 30. The last was a follow-up on March 2023. So basically, it had some rotten and weakened wood on the house.
All right.
And then if you
Okay,
go,
go back, please. Now, this is 30-169 rotten or weakened wood.
yes, sir.
All right, and this is visible from a public right of way?
Yes, sir.
Which right of way?
You got Kirby Street and
Kirk.
Kirkland. Yes, sir.
Is it on a corner?
Yes, sir. It's on the
Is this
corner.
in a historic district?
Yes, sir. It is.
Southern, South
Yes, sir.
Historic?
South.
Okay. All right, please proceed.
So basically, you're looking at 1C, which was taken on June 5th.
So what needs to be done precisely is right here.
Yes, sir.
Now we're on photograph 1C.
Yes, sir. It's the
So-
same position.
So we have this corner of the elevation, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, slats of wood missing
In the
on
front.
on
Yes,
the
sir.
front side, and then 2 missing on the,
It's actually 3, I believe.
3 on the, okay.
Yes, sir.
But those holes need to be replaced.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So the next one is going to be 2B. This was the roofing and disrepair. So now this part of the building, they did get a permit for, and this part of the building is no longer there. So if you look at 2C, this is what's left of that being removed.
So they did go through the process of getting a permit for that work?
And they did get the back removed. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's where we're at right there. And it's,
Just curious, I always ask this question. They've been talking to you and responding to you, and they got a permit for the removal. Why are they here for now?
basically, we're here because the building is still in the same position, actually worse than what it was when we first started the case. The roofing and disrepair was just the back part of the house. So we still have the rotten and weakened wood, and we still have the mold and mildew wasn't taken care of.
So the city was unsatisfied as to any time frame. Did he give you a time frame?
No, the permit actually expired. So, and then no new permits were pulled. They did, actually, this was unsecured. I spoke to his wife and she did have Mr. Sheffield. They did, because that was going to be a whole new complaint, but he did go board that up for us.
So now, just so I'm clear on the status of the case, what are we here for today?
This is the second hearing is for a lien on the property.
All right. So this case was originally, we sent the order of violation when?
The first hearing was March 21st, 2023, and the compliance date was May 22nd, 2023.
So we're 13 months after that.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why it's taking that long to get back here? You can come back here after 3 months.
Yes, sir. We were on a $10,000 threshold. Once something hits a $10,000, then we bring it back, and then now we've just been bringing them back in order.
Right, because I'm looking at how much in the way of fines have accrued in this at this point.
Yes, sir. The total as of today is 14,525.
So was he in compliance with anything
No, sir.
at all? So even taking the roof off didn't get him any compliance when he pulled the permit for that?
When he pulled the permit, it basically, the roof was in disrepair, was on the back part of that section of that house, which he took off. And then the other part was on the front, and he removed that. But when he removed it, it kind of left the hole where you could see straight through the structure.
Well, help me remember, when this came up, did we tell him that applying for a permit would create a compliance?
They already had a permit,
Okay,
and then it was until the permit expiration date. But they were supposed to apply for the new permits for anything else, and they were supposed to have the mold and mildew removed within 30 days.
okay, so so the fines take into the account the fact that they had a permit, then it failed and they didn't apply for a new permit?
So the fine on the mold and mildew started after the 30 days. The other part didn't start until after anything else, until after the permit expired.
So these fines don't necessarily start 30 days after
Correct.
the order of finding violation.
It started the day, well, when the permit expired.
Okay, when was that?
I apologize, sir. The permit actually expired. They went off an old permit. It expired May 12th, 2023.
And the hearing was May something 20?
The first hearing was March 21st, 2023. The compliance date you gave them was May 22nd, 2023. And they had a permit already applied, but they hadn't started the work on the permit at that time. They didn't apply for a new permit. They went off the old permit, which expired May 12th.
Okay, so when did they apply for another permit?
They didn't.
They never did.
No, sir.
Alright.
There was no new permits
Alright.
pulled.
Just as an interjection, can I ask you how come you
Yeah.
didn't apply for another?
My,
permit?
my,
This thing like, this like.
it
I'm looking at
blows my mind
$14,000 here
too.
because
I
somebody didn't
hear
apply
you.
for a
I hear
permit.
you. My recollection of how things transpired is a bit different because before they would let us demo, we had to get not only the demo permit, but we had to actually get permitted for the entire rebuild and renovation. And so that took time. And so they wouldn't let us do anything until we got permits for everything. And so we went through with the demo.
Who wouldn't let you do something?
The count, they wouldn't let us act on the permit. Leo or
The county's
County,
building
county.
official.
The
So
count-
the county told them they couldn't do this?
yeah, they're the ones that, because when we bought the property, one of the things we wanted to do right off the bat was demo those two sections. That's what, okay, go ahead.
I don't want you being punished because the county told you to do something for
Well,
the city. Where is that? Mr. Cutright, can you help me with that one?
I mean, what part of the
I mean-
pulling the permit for the demo?
So he's telling me the county does this work.
The county does the approval for the
So
demo
he's telling
permit.
me the county gave him some advice that he needed to get a certain amount of work done.
well, I need to get my permits pulled for everything.
Okay.
All the renovations after, all the trade work.
Did you
All
tell
of
Mr.
that.
Cutright or Ms. Lowe about this?
No, because we had planned to, we had planned to go through with this piece and not have to be back here. But what had happened after we took the back part off, which was part of the original complaint, and the front part, which was part of the original complaint, we then saw so much more damage to the rest of the building in terms of the stuff was just being totally eaten away. When we initially bought the property, we had a structural engineer come through, but they're also they wouldn't allow us to do any demo or take things off of the building to do a more deep investigation. And so when these pieces came off and we went and took a look at what was there in terms of the framing, my wife and I got into it quite a bit, and it's taken us a while to come to an agreement because I wanted to do more in terms of restore. She was done and felt it wasn't safe and wanted to demo it. And so we went along, and so we've ended up applying to have it demoed, but
And
go ahead.
I think I understand all the dynamics of this, but it still comes back down to the issue with me. Am I sitting here looking at somebody bringing to me a lien request for $14,525 because the county gave you some advice and y'all weren't talking to each other? Is that what this comes to?
I mean, the city stance is in compliance. I mean, in communication with the county, we was not aware of all that back and forth with him in the county. So when we realized that the violations was not corrected for all the violations, and we had met that threshold of over 10,000 at that time, we have since then talked about that. It was time to bring the case.
So the city talked with the county about his claim that?
No, we no.
Okay,
Well, I mean, I spoke to them, but they never said anything like that. They just told me no new permits were pulled.
okay. We understand why I'm asking.
Oh, of course,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's
saying.
like, you don't issue the permit, another agency issues the permit. He went to the agency, he's telling me the agency said you needed to apply for everything at once, more than just what the violations were. You didn't tell them. They
Correct.
didn't
I did
tell the
not
county.
communicate
The county
that.
didn't tell you, and I'm looking at $14,000 in fines. Guys,
Well,
help me out here.
well, in defense to my staff, we reached out to county to see was any permits pulled. We didn't know to ask, was it any hang up or why he wouldn't pull another permit. But since another permit wasn't pulled, and Mr. Sheffield them had said that any reason why they.
We didn't
couldn't
reach
pull the
out and
permit,
communicate to them
you know,
either.
We just assumed that work was stopping.
So where's the permit application now?
There is no permit application. It expired. And
That was the
so,
one she was talking about originally.
no, it must have expired later, because when he did the demo, that automatically extended the date of the permits.
The county's permit?
Yes.
Mr.
And
Lowe, what
so,
about that?
but we let, even that is expired by now. Where we are and where we're at fault is the time we took in terms of going over and trying to make the decision whether to restore or
Well,
demo
I
this
get that.
building.
I'm just concerned about the communication on the thing, and
Okay.
it turns out all this money
Gotcha.
sitting out there accumulating, and nobody seems to be totally concerned about it, except me.
No,
I'm
we're
not the one
good.
that- I'm not the one that has to pay it. I mean, I'm like, okay. In terms of what it is, you said that there was an automatic extension of the
Well,
county's
when you-
original permit?
Yeah, when you actually take action and then get our contractor said when we got the the review, they came out and looked at the demo, and we had satisfied that piece that this piece would be extended, was what I was explained. So,
All right, because here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna ask Ms. Lowe to finish her presentation
okay,
regarding what's still wrong with this building that wasn't cured.
okay,
And understand, I have a very narrow, limited jurisdiction as to what I can decide.
Yep.
And my only decision originally was to decide based on the facts presented whether there was a violation. And we found some. Then we gave time for compliance, which we did. And
Yep.
fines could accrue after the date of compliance, which they have.
mhm,
Now, what transpired is that all these permit situation isn't really something that affects me other than, I don't want to be having any excessive fines placed on this property, and something that could have been prevented by some action of the city at least, in that regard, because they're the ones asking for the money.
okay.
Right now, we've got this communications issue that seems to be paramount in causing some of this concern. So let me hear from Ms. Lowe as to what is still wrong with it. Has anything been done that cures any aspect of this building, just as a general statement?
Just the roofing and disrepair has been taken off.
But it wasn't completed,
It was not
and
completed.
the permit for that is expired.
Correct, sir.
All right, continue with where you were. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We're back on.
I'm sorry. You said the roofing and disrepair was not completed.
It-
Because that was what was demoed,
That's correct.
and
That-
then the front part was demoed.
And then what was left was the unsecured, which you secured that, but now what
Yep.
we have left on the back part of the house is that hole that we discussed. That's up top,
So it's just
The-
a hole in the roof?
in the backside. Yes, sir.
Go ahead and show us what you're talking about with these guys. Clearly, some work has been done to bring the property to compliance.
What the permit was pulled. So yes, the roofing and disrepair is gone. So right there, if you look up where the arrow is, there's an actual, it's missing about 4, it's hard to see kind of through the trees, I apologize, but there, what's left of there, it's touching the roof and it's about 4 panels and it's a hole that just needs to be secured.
So part of what was originally wrong with the roof has been repaired.
Mhm.
The only thing left is,
Yeah, you can see it clearly
I can't
here.
really see it in this.
You
photo.
can
Yeah,
see
you
it
can see it.
clearly.
You got a better
If I can,
photo of
I
it?
can't go on the property where I can only,
if I can.
You may, and I'm gonna mark this as the respondents number 1. And so this is a front elevation of the house,
No, this is the back.
Back elevation of the
yes, sir,
house?
it's the back, it's the top part where you're looking at here.
This right here.
Yes, sir.
So is this what, a decorative item?
No, sir, that's part of the, where the roof was, where they took the roof off, it pulled some of that off, so it's still
So
in,
the siding is missing there.
that's the part of there's like four panels missing, wooden panels.
Well, you can't see this from a public street.
Actually, you can, but I did not, honestly, I did not get on the sidewalk that way, I just took it from here. Thought I could see it good from my picture, but from here you can
Well,
only
you
see.
said you couldn't get a photo, okay. This is a photograph from the public street?
Yes, sir,
Can you see it?
you can see it from the roof.
That's on the property because we own the lot next to it. It's an empty lot because it's not on the corner. This is not on the corner. This is,
I'm just interpreting
Okay.
what the city's code is.
Okay, all right.
I'm reading their code. I didn't write it. But 30-169 says all deteriorated structural and decorative elements visible from a public right of way
Yes.
should be repaired, and replaced. And it talks about every part of this structure visible from public right of way or abutting a street should be made a public sound. Is this a street?
You can see it from Kirkland.
Where did you take that picture? I'm looking at
I'm
2C.
standing on Kirkland.
And the other section, 169, actually it's the same section. Regarding mold and mildew is also
It's-
having street visibility. All right, so you say you can see the remaining hole in the roof from Kirkland Street.
Yes,
Which is
sir.
the public right of way. Mr. Sheffield, you got any issue with that?
I don't think this, where that picture looks like it's standing in my neighbor's backyard on the lot empty lot that we own next to it, because those trees are right there. But the city has been more than patient with this. I don't want to get into all of this. I understand what they're coming from. I guess the thing that I would ask is that for their understanding, as far as if they're going to consider our compliance or level of compliance, can we get the factual things straight with the permits so they understand what was going on there? And
Well, and
but-
again, I don't have the specific order in front of me. Were the findings based on the fact that he acquired a permit as
That was-
opposed to complete the work? We've had this discussion many times.
We did, and they, the last hearing, they had a permit, and then we told them we would extend it to any new permits that were pulled. And like I said, I did my due diligence, and I did call the county, and they told me when it expired. And they did complete the work that was on that permit, but no new permits were pulled, is what the county explained to me.
So if they
And there was
completed the
nothing.
work on the permit that was pulled,
The roofing and disrepair is what was already pulled.
all right, that did not create compliance. It created partial compliance.
Correct. I did take that off. I did take roofing and disrepair off.
Okay. So there were originally 3.
There was originally 3.
And the
we have
14,525 includes the fact you did not charge $25 a day.
on that particular one.
So this represents $50 a day since last March,
Yes, sir, that's
last
correct.
May, excuse me.
That's correct.
All right, because I'm just looking at whether there's been compliance with the violation.
I understand.
One of them disappeared, so they didn't charge you for that
Yep.
one. Less
Yep.
but then we still have the building fronts and streets with that roofing area, and then you've got the mold and mildew.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we've gotten there yet. Show me what that looks like.
So if you go to 4B, please, Sunny. So this is 4B. This was the mold and mildew. It's over 98% of this side of the house, and this is facing Kirby Street.
Okay.
And then if you go to 4C, it's still there. And
All right, so this is unabated since the May of last year.
yes, sir.
Okay, so the city at this point in time is asking for the implementation of a lien on the property. Is this your homestead property, Mr. Fisher?
No, it's not.
Just be aware, liens can be foreclosed on non-homestead
Yep.
property.
Yep.
And that's one of the issues. So what's gonna be required for compliance now? What's the city?
Well, right
asking
now,
for?
the city is seeking a lien on this property. I mean, he still has the ability and to
Yeah, but
have
the-
this property come into compliance.
Well, and that's what I'm asking you. Now, what specifically is the city looking for
So the
compliance to
city's looking
stop the-
for the building to be secured, the rotten and weakened wood to be complete, and the mold and mildew to be removed.
Well, the security of the building isn't an issue right now, is it? I didn't
Correct.
see it
Well, it's,
here.
once he puts the panels in, it will be secured.
Oh, you're talking about replacing?
Yes,
it?
sir.
And that's on the Kirkland elevation?
It's on the Kirkland and then the Kirby and Kirkland on the front that we looked at in the very beginning.
So is applying for a permit enough, or is he gonna have to actually finish?
If he
it?
applies for the permit, then I will add that in and it'll stop. And
So apply for the permit on the whole of the Kirkland Street side, but the pressure washing, it doesn't require a permit.
no, sir, it does not.
All right. And there's really no time frame on this because the clock still ticks on the fines. All right. Any questions? Just make sure you guys talk to each other. Any questions?
Okay. No questions for me. We are on I think we're going to be on the August 1st docket for the Historic Preservation Board to have request to have this demolished. So that was the other reason why I haven't done anything to this yet. So I'm going to put up boards and apply for the permit
When did you all
but you're
decide
saying,
that one?
I'm sorry?
When did you decide that?
We decided it's about a month ago
Okay.
that we decided that.
Well, don't tell me you did it a year
And-
ago and you're just now telling me.
No, we've gone back and forth over this
All right.
quite a
here's-
bit.
And I think we've heard enough at this point.
Yeah.
Here's where we are. I mean, the county, again, a very narrow range of options that I have to look at. The county, I think, presented some substantial and competent evidence that there's a continuing violation regarding the mold and mildew, which has accrued at the rate of $25 a day since last May. And that the deteriorating building has been addressed to some degree, but not completely. And it needs to be addressed, but can be resolved by getting a permit application into the county. That takes care of the situation. Whatever we want to do, if you want to demolish it, let them know that. If they demolish the building, if they ask to demolish the building, I don't know that they should be required to pressure wash the thing if they're going to be doing it. So that's one of your options. And I know those are difficult decisions for you, especially in a historic district, in terms of what's going on. I know you're trying to make something out of this. But nonetheless, the county's entitled to their lien, and I'm going to enter an order authorizing it. I'm not the say on reducing that lien amount. That's something the city commission can do, but that's something for another day at this point. All right.
All right.
All right. We'll send you some notice, ma'am.
Yes, my suggestion, if you are going to be
Okay.
pursuing demolition of the structure, my suggestion in terms of the lien reduction is to apply for that lien reduction as soon as the property is in compliance. It would be considered in compliance as soon as it is gone. So do not wait until you have a replacement structure fully constructed, because obviously that's going to significantly increase the amount of the total fine that you are seeking to have reduced. It will be in compliance once it's demolished. Does that make sense?
Okay. It makes some sense.
Okay.
Can you repeat that though? I want to make sure I have it.
Sure. You can only apply for a lien reduction with the city if your property is in compliance with all code violations.
Mhm.
Obviously, if the structure no longer exists, all of your code violations are gone.
Yep.
So as soon as your your structure has been demolished, assuming you get all the requisite permits,
No,
I would immediately apply for your lien reduction because it will be considered in compliance as of that moment.
okay. The application for a permit to demo, in order to get that approved, I have to wait until the August 1st.
Right,
Historic
because you're in the
preservation.
South Historic
Yeah.
District, you have to get your
And then I've already
HPB
gotten in-
approval.
okay,
And
all
then
right.
your county approval will be contingent on the HPB approving it first.
Okay.
It's a two-layered process when you're in the Historic District, as
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your patience today. Appreciate you coming. We're going to take a recess until 3:30. You on? All right, it now being 3:33, we are going to recommence the proceedings before the special magistrate for code enforcement for the city of Palatka. We're now going to turn to the next case on the agenda, which is case 2023-109. Property located at 813 North 12th Street in Palatka. Owner is David Sheffield and Etta Sheffield, plus the heirs of G. Purifoy. And whose case is this, Ms. Love?
It's mine, sir.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, sir. This is going to be case number 2023-109, 813 North 12th Street, Palatka, Florida. For the record, this is for a second hearing. The first hearing was held October 17th, 2023.
Let me ask, is anyone here who is an heir of G. Purifoy? Is David Sheffield here? Is Etta Sheffield here, or anyone representing any of them? I'm seeing and hearing no one. I'm doing a due process and due diligence on that. Did we send a certified letter to an address of record?
Yes, sir.
Did we get a green card back?
No, sir.
All right, and the address of record was which?
It's 813 North 12th Street.
That's the address of the property appraiser and tax collectors?
Yes, sir,
official
it is.
records?
Yes, sir.
You did not get the card back at all?
No, sir.
And did you post the property in accordance with state statute?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you have your affidavit of service included? in
Yes,
the
sir, I
record?
do.
Had any contact with anyone regarding this?
No, sir.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, sir. In this case, the original case was October 17th, 2023, and we're bringing it back for the second hearing.
Were
Ms.
we
Sunny,
here-
if you'll
were
go
we
to.
here for a lien today?
Aleen's, yes, sir. You'll go to 1B, please.
Okay.
And we still have all 5 violations. So this was 1B. This was taken on October 16th, 2023, when I
And
first
did you
started.
take the photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir, I did.
And do they accurately represent the condition of the property and date in which you took them?
Yes, sir, they do.
Right.
So if you'll go to 1C,
Okay, go back to 1B. And this is in reference to
the,
violation of ordinance 30-32A, roof and disrepair.
yes, sir.
And this is one where it's just general roof and disrepair. There's no view requirement, correct?
Correct.
Right. And that was the condition of the property and the date of the order of finding violation.
Yes, sir.
Has been any improvement in the property since then?
No, sir.
Please proceed.
So on 1C, this was taken on June 5th. Some of the roof have actually fell down. It's kind of right where the arrow is.
Okay.
But the condition hasn't gotten any better. 2B is another photo to
So the roof is in worse repair than it was.
yes, sir.
Next.
So this 2B was taken on October 16th on the first case. And then if you look at the picture that was taken on June 5th on 2C,
Right.
it's sunk in a little bit more. It hasn't gotten any better. The roof is still in disrepair.
And these are still in reference to 30-32A, roof and disrepair.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if you go to 3B, please. This is going to be in violation of 3171 shattered or broken windows. This one here, in this particular photo, 3B, it has a hole in the window,
And is that in the lower left-hand?
lower left, yes, sir.
quadrant? Okay.
And then in the new picture, 3C, which was taken on June 5th, it still has the hole in the window, but the top right one is now got a hole in the window.
Right.
Yes, sir. If you'll go to 4B, please. This is going to be 3032A, missing or unsecured door. The door does appear to be there. It's kind of hanging, but it's not secured. It's still open. And on 4C, which was taken June 5th, it's in the same condition. Nothing's changed.
All right, so this was a violation regarding 30-32A, missing or unsecured door.
Yes, sir.
All right, so no improvement there.
No improvement. No, sir. And then on 5B,
Right.
This is gonna be on the right side of the house. That door is missing. It looks like part of the door is missing, but it's not secured. It's hard to tell, but it's open.
So this is
And
a
the-
second unsecured door.
The second door, yes, sir.
Was this door also unsecured at the time of finding the original violation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then on the new June 5th, you can see that's the picture actually of both doors are unsecured.
Very good. All right.
And then on 6B, please, we have trash and debris. And then on 6C, the city did come and pick up some of the trash and debris, but this is what's left.
Okay.
And then we have
And that was the 30-32A violation also?
yes, sir.
Very good.
So then we have 30-32, the overgrown grass was gonna be the next one, 7B. This was taken on October 16th. And the new violation, well, the same violation, but taken June 5th, 7C.
I
It's
like
what,
the yardstick there.
thank you, sir. Mr. Cutright bought that for us. So it's actually more overgrown.
Okay.
And that's all my evidence, sir.
All right, so basically we had 5 violations that we had 1 additional broken or missing window instead of, we had 2 now instead of 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was in in relation to section 30-171. We still have trash and debris in the front and side yard in violation of 30-32A, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we still have prohibited conditions of public nuisances. The roof structural issues look like they've actually increased in severity,
Yes, sir.
right? Is there a tree on the house still there?
There is the tree still on the house.
Very good. In the 30-32A prohibited condition, tree limbs, overgrown grass, it looks like it's grown higher, it
Yes,
hasn't
sir.
been tended. And then doors unsecured or missing, there are 2 doors that remain unsecured
Yes,
or
sir.
missing, correct?
Yes, sir.
You said the city did come in and address some of the issues regarding trash and debris in the front and side yard, but not
Yes, sir.
completely.
They did a pickup and did get some of that off the roadway.
So all 5 of the elements, all 5 of the violations originally found at the original hearing continue unabated.
That's correct, sir.
And the total amount of fines accruing as of today's date are what?
$17,750.
You indicated it was a $10,000 threshold on looking at these again for lien.
That was prior, yes, sir. And this is coming up. It fell in its rotation.
So that's 17,750 as of today's date.
That is as of today,
And
yes,
the
sir.
fines continue to accrue at the rate of $125 per day, $25
$125.
per violation per day.
Yes, sir.
And still no contact with anyone
No, sir.
relating to the property.
I was given a social media to contact the actual wife of David Sheffield, but she has not responded yet. So as of right now, no.
Did you have the name of the wife?
Crystal,
Crystal?
yes, sir.
Yeah, idea who Etta is?
I have no, sir. I've tried to research, but I cannot find anything.
So I've got a couple records that might help. There's a Etta Bell Sheffield, but she is dead.
That's what I was told. So I haven't been able to find too much. And there's only 3 houses on that block and they're all empty. So I did find a Crystal Sheffield that was married to a David Sheffield. And I believe I have the right account, but she hasn't responded yet. And there are 2 children that are heirs, but one of them I was told was in a facility, but no names.
All right. Last call for David Sheffield. I don't know if that's Etta Sheffield or not. Is the property appraiser just listed as Etta?
Etta and heirs of,
Okay, of G Pure Ford.
Yes, sir.
Anyone representing any of those parties? Seeing and hearing no one, and based on the evidence of testimony presented, we're going to find it appropriate to find there are continued violations of section 30-32A regarding unsecured doors, regarding tree limbs and overgrown grass, roof and structural issues, and trash and debris in the front and side yard, and then a violation of 30-171 due to broken or missing windows. We're going to find appropriate to issue an order allowing the county to place an official lien on the property
City.
at 813 North 12th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177, in accordance with section 162 Florida statutes. Right. Next case, number 2338, Cassie McDuffie, property located at 610 Kirby Street in Palatka. And what are we looking? This is a lien case also?
Yes, sir. This is the
Is your
second hearing.
case, Ms. Lowe?
Yes, sir.
Let
Second
me
hearing.
ask, is Cassie McDuffie present? Or anyone representing Cassie McDuffie? All right, please proceed.
Yes, sir. This is going to be case number 2023-038, 610 Kirby Street, Palatka, Florida, for the record. This is going to be a second hearing. First hearing was held on March 21st, 2023. The original violation was section 3032B, prohibited condition and public nuisance, the description derelict vehicle. The first picture 1B that we're looking at was taken on March 2023 with the first hearing.
Okay.
And what makes the vehicle derelict, it has flat tires, mold and mildew growing on it, and an expiration, the tag is expired.
When was the date of the original hearing finding the violation?
Yes, sir, that was gonna be March 21st, and the compliance date was April 20th.
Right, just so we know from due process viewpoint, did you try to contact by certified mail?
Yes, sir, I did. I did get one green card back, and did not get a green card back for the second hearing yet.
All right, and the address of 16 Kirby Street is the official address of record on the property appraiser and tax collector's rolls.
Yes, sir, it is.
And you did post the property and file an affidavit of service with the record.
Yes, sir, I did.
Any contact with Ms. McDuffie or anyone?
No, sir, I've knocked on the door several times. No answer. She actually did call the city the other day, but not in reference to the complaint. She wanted to make a complaint and she did leave a number. Mr. Green spoke with her. He has tried to call her back numerous times to get no answer. He gave me the number so I could speak with her about this case. And it says not accepting incoming calls. So
So Mr. Green, you verify you actually got a call from Cassie McDuffie,
Yes, sir.
but you did not get to talk with her.
I spoke with her because she called me a complaint. Then I called her back about the complaint she made, but she never answered the phone.
Does anyone live in this property?
yes, sir. Well, I'm assuming she lives there because every time I knock on the door, the dog barks.
Okay. But you don't know who owns the dog?
I'm sorry, I don't, sir.
Okay, that's fine. You know what you know. That's all I'm asking.
Right.
You don't have any idea what them. All right. So show
So,
me the vehicle. This is,
so if we go to 1C, this was taken on June 5th. It shows the flat tire and the growth on the car. And then if you go to 2B, this is, was taken on March 20th, 2023. And then if you go to 2C, I just gave you a close-up of the actual tag that shows it expired 9/15.
we originally set a fine of $25 per day
That's correct, sir.
for the violation.
Yes, sir.
This one's at $10,625.
That's correct, sir.
Right. Anything else?
No, sir, that's all I have.
All right, based on the evidence of testimony, I'm going to find it appropriate to authorize county to record a lien on the subject property for the violation of 30-32B derelict vehicle regarding the derelict, just the inoperable vehicle located on the property. And that has been unabated since the date of the order finding original violation.
That's correct, sir.
We're off of that case.
Yes, sir.
Just curious, that car, some people would find it reasonably valuable. It's amazing to me it hasn't been stolen sitting there. 45. Property owner Jesse A. Ream, R-E-E-M, property located at 113 West Oak Hill Drive in Palatka, Florida. Is Jesse A. Ream present, or anyone representing Jesse A. Ream? Seeing and hearing of one, whose case?
Mine case.
And this is this a case of first impression, or is this?
First case, first hearing.
Please proceed.
Yes, the violations are 30-169 mold and mildew. The second violation is 30-169 paint deteriorating. And the third violation is 30-171 broken windows. The case was first observed 3/07/24. The notice of hearing was sent out 5/23/24. No green card was returned, signed. Complex posting was posted 5/23/24. Site posting 5/23/24.
All right. Mr. Ream is not here. Is the official address, the property address at 113 West Oak Hill Drive, Palatka, Florida, 32177?
Yes, sir.
And that's the official address on the property appraiser and tax collector's rolls?
Yes, sir.
And you did send certified letter to that address indicating notice of violation, notice of hearing?
Yes, sir.
And you have no contact with Mr. Ream?
No, sir.
And did you post the property in accordance with state
Yes, sir.
statute? And you have your affidavit of service included in the record?
Yes, sir.
All right, you've got three violations: 30-169 due to mold and mildew, 30-169 paint deteriorating, and 30-167 broken windows.
Yes, sir.
And we have the excerpts of each of the statutes included in the record.
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This is 1A. This is a picture of
And did you take the photos you're about to show us?
yes, sir.
And do they accurately represent the condition of the property on the date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
Now you can proceed.
Okay. This is 1A. This picture was taken 3/7/24. Like the mold and mildew and the paint deterioration at the top of the house, the key.
Okay.
And
And
go to
so
2B.
this one, deteriorating paint, this visible, what street is this on?
This
Oak Hill
is
Drive?
on 113 West
This is the
Oak Hill
front
Drive.
elevation on Oak Hill Drive?
Yes, sir.
So what's the cure here? What's the remedy?
The pressure washing and the top of the house, the roof, the key, I guess you want to call it, the gable, painted.
What about the awnings?
Yes, sir. That's the mold and mildew. The pressure wash those, and if the
First wash the whole house and repaint what?
the gable and
The
if
whole
the
elevation?
yes, sir. Once you pressure wash and the paint comes off the shutters, whatever, we paint those also with a fresh coat of paint.
Okay. Next.
This is 1B. This tip picture was taken 6/13/24. House in the same condition.
All right.
What's the next one? This is 2A. Picture was taken 3/7/2024. It's a closer look at the gable and the awning and the shutters on the side that has the mold and mildew.
All right. Next.
It's 2B. This picture was taken 6/13/24. In same condition. I'll take this out.
So basically, we're looking at the same elevation from Oak Hill Drive.
This is a different date.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
What about, you got mold and mildew, deteriorating paint, broken windows?
Yes, I'm getting to that. Three,
Okay.
8 on it. That's no, this is the other side. This is the left side of the house. If you stand in front of it, so on the closer picture of the mold and mildew on awning. This picture was taken 3/7/2024. Next picture on. Yeah, this is 3B. The one, I guess they put the window down and it's showing the broken window now. This picture was taken 6/13/2024.
And this is reference to section 30-171.
Yes, sir.
Is
Next.
that the only window broken?
Yes, sir.
Is the top pane broken or just the bottom?
Just the bottom pane.
What
Next,
next?
next picture. And this is the north side of the house, the gable on the north side of the house with the paint and mold and mildew. That was taken 3/7/2024.
All right, is this visible from Oak Hill Drive?
Yes, sir. Next picture, son. This is 4B. Picture was taken 6/13/2024. Same condition.
Were you standing on Oak Hill Drive when you took this?
Yes,
photo?
sir. Next picture, son.
That's it?
No, this is
So basically, we're looking at one broken window pane,
yes, sir.
the front elevation needs to be pressure washed and repainted a consistent color.
Yes, sir.
And then one side elevation, looks like the left side elevation, as you can see from Oak Hill Drive,
Yes, sir.
also needs to be pressure washed and
Yes, sir.
painted to make it at least a consistent color.
Yes, sir.
All right. How much time do you want to give them?
90 days,
All right.
and that'd
I
be
find that
September
reasonable.
17th.
And the fines are $25 per violation?
Yes, sir, $75.
And that's a de minimis fine?
Sir,
That's a de minimis fine, a low fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Last call for Jesse A. Ream, anyone representing Jesse A. Ream. Seeing and hearing no one, we find it appropriate to enter an order finding a violation. Section 30-169 of the city code regarding mold and mildew on the front elevation facing West Oak Hill Drive and on a side elevation visible from Oak Hill Drive. A violation of also section 30-169 due to deteriorating paint, also visible from Oak Hill Drive, West Oak Hill Drive, and a side elevation visible from West Oak Hill Drive. And one broken window which needs to be replaced or repaired in violation of section 30-171 of the city code. We're going to enter an order finding violations and require that the owner bring the properties into compliance and no fewer than within 90 days of today's hearing. And that would be on September 17th, 2024. In the event compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $25 per day per violation shall commence on September 18th, 2024. Okay. You have to forgive me, I'm wearing down a little bit. This makes 18 of these things today. I'm getting weary of it. All right, let's go to case number 2024-77. Property owner is Warren Fells, and there are apparently other owners of record.
Yes, sir.
Property located at 119 North 15th Street in Palatka, Florida. Is this a case of first impression?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is Warren Fells, you also have in care of Dexter R. Fells, is that correct?
I just have Warren Fields.
I'm sorry?
I have Warren Fields.
Well, the record you sent me also says the address is in care of Dexter Fells.
We got a green card back with Mr. Fields'
All right.
signature.
Let me ask you about that. You sent the green card
Yes, sir.
to Warren Fells et al. Dexter R. Fells,
Yes, sir.
4511 Song Sparrow Drive, Middleburg, Florida, 32068.
Yes, sir.
And you got a green card signed by Lisa. I hesitate. Beeks, maybe? Looks like it might be an F or an S. But
Yes.
nonetheless, you got a green card back from someone. Did you post the property?
Yes, sir.
And you post in accordance with state statutes?
Yes, sir.
And do you
Also
have an
spoke to,
affidavit of posting included in the record?
yes, sir.
All right.
Also spoke to a family member, and he also,
You did speak to someone?
just a family member, yes, sir.
Who was it?
Reno Fields.
Who?
Reno Fields.
Okay, when you discussed the violations with them, what was their response? Can you paraphrase it if you find the language inappropriate for public?
It wasn't inappropriate. It was, they were gonna try to get, they were gonna try to get something done.
All right. So did you discuss each of the violations with them?
Yes, sir.
All right. Where was Mr. Fells when you talked with him? Was he at the property?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone on the property?
No, sir.
Okay. Is it vacant?
Yes, sir.
All right, you've got, it looks like 5 alleged violations, 30-169 deteriorating paint, 30-169 mold and mildew, all visible from North 15th Street, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
30-32 subsection 10 roofing and disrepair, 30-32A 1 trash and debris on the property, and 30-32A 10 missing decorative or structural components, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have some demonstrative evidence for us?
Yes, sir.
And did you take the photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir.
And do the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property and date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, is this a case of first impression also?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This is picture 1A taken 5/1/24, and this is showing the deteriorating paint on the front wall of the building and the roofing in disrepair on the side.
And this is, where were you standing when you took this photo?
I was standing on 15th Street,
All right,
North
so this is
15th.
actually the, is it both the street side and the side of the house?
Yes, sir.
So what needs to be done there?
Pressure wash, removed all deteriorating paint and replaced it with even fresh coat of paint. And the roofing, all roofing that's in disrepair need to be replaced and repaired.
Hang on a minute. Thirty-two dash 32A10 to roofing section.
Yes, sir.
All right, that one requires replacing or repairing within 60 days, broken or missing building components, including but not limited to doors, windows, roofing materials, siding and drives. Okay, this is roofing material.
Yes, sir.
How much of that roof needs to be replaced? What's going to be compliant?
From what I can see, I can't see the top of the roof. The edge of the roof on both sides has that same appearance with the tiling falling off.
And I appreciate you can only see what you can see.
Yes, sir.
The roof does need to be repaired at least what you can
Yes,
see
sir.
from 15th Street, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next.
1B, and that's picture was taken 6/13/2024. It's same spot, same elevation from North 15th Street.
So no improvement at all.
No, sir.
Okay.
In this picture, son. This is the left side of the house. This picture is 2A, taken 5/1/2024. You can see the mold and mildew.
And where were you standing when you saw?
On North 15th Street. In this picture, 2B. This is 6/13/2024. The mold and mildew from the left on the left side of the house, the north side of the house.
And you were still visible from North 15th Street?
Yes, sir.
So on those last two photos, again, is pressure washing enough or?
Yes, sir. Pressure washing on this one, well, pressure washing the whole house and replaced with a fresh even coat of paint because the paint is deteriorating.
Was that paint deteriorated?
Yes, sir.
And
And it
2B?
also has mold and mildew.
All right.
This is taking 5/1/2024. This is more of the roofing in disrepair. This is the front of the house. The gable is falling apart. And
So I'm just looking at the soffit over the gable.
yes, sir.
So it's just the soffit need to be replaced?
And it looks like the roofing is coming off the gable off the top of the roof in the
Is
front.
this the metal roof?
No, sir.
What kind of roofing material?
On tile.
Like in ceramic, terracotta, or is it like it?
Asphalt. Asphalt.
Architectural,
Asphalt.
okay. All right, what next?
This picture is 3B. This 6/13/2024. Same elevation taken on North 15th Street.
Next.
This is 4A. This is roofing on the north side of the house. This picture was taken 5/1/2024.
Is that some of the underlayment or is that?
That's the
shingles?
roofing material falling through the
Are those the shingles?
Yes, sir.
themselves? Okay. So what needs to be done? Does the shingles need to be replaced?
yes, sir, repair, replace.
Okay.
And this is 4B. This was taken 6/13/2024. Still staying on North 15th Street.
Next is 4B.
Yes, sir. This is 5A, taking 5/1/2024. This is with missing components. They're missing a piece of wood on the gable.
And this is which elevation?
Staying on North 15th Street.
North 15th?
Yes, sir.
It's not the front elevation, it's to the right?
Yes, sir.
Well, you're looking straight onto the house. How can you
Yes, sir.
see the house straight on from North 15th Street? That's not the front of the house.
That's a part of the house.
I got that part, but it's not the front of the house.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, North 15th Street goes down the left side.
Yes, sir.
You're now on the side and you're looking at it straight on.
You have the house is, you have the house in front of the house, and then to the right of the house, you have this building here. And that's the picture of that building. If you go back to 1A, front, Sunny, I mean, yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am. See,
Yeah, but you're not looking straight on the side of the house from there. That last photograph, you're looking straight on. I'm just curious as to how you do that from 15th Street.
I'm standing on 15th Street right there.
I got that, but you're not shooting it straight on the side of the building. Go back to the last photo. You're shooting that one straight on to the side of the building. How can you be on 15th Street?
That's not the side of the building, that's another building altogether.
Okay, on 15th Street.
Yes, sir.
That's the front of the same building or another building?
Another building.
There are two buildings on the property.
Yes,
Okay, got it. There we go. Got it. All right, thank you. You understand, I was just trying to get.
Yes, sir.
coordinated
Yes, I
how you're
understand.
looking at that. All right,
5B, Sonny. This is 13/2024, and missing component still hasn't been replaced
there's more roofing shingles that are. off
from the main house. Yes, sir.
It's in violation of 30-32A10.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes, sir.
right next.
Next picture, Sonny.
All
And
right,
this is
so
the-
we've got deteriorating paint on all the sides of the house seen from North 15th Street. We've got mold and mildew on all the sides of the house seen from North 15th Street.
Yes, sir.
It needs to be pressure washed to remove the mold and mildew, and the paint needs to be brought into a consistent color,
Yes, sir.
okay? The roofing is in disrepair shown by missing or damaged soffit on the front elevation as well as on the side elevations.
Yes, sir.
And we have, what about trash and debris in the yard?
That's it right there. 6A. This picture was taken 5/1/2024.
Is that a fallen tree?
No, sir. They did some lawn work and they
So
left it
what's the
there.
cure, what remedy does the city want the owner to do there?
Remove it.
All of it?
Yes, sir.
They can't trim it or save it?
No, sir. It's already been cut down. They just didn't remove it from the property.
Oh, this is debris that's
Yes,
been
sir.
cut.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good.
And this
then the
picture's
missing components, which were.
that was the past picture with the
Okay.
other building.
All right, last call for Warren Fells or Dexter Fells or anyone representing either of them. Seeing hearing to one and finding that due process has been satisfied in accordance with state statute and city code, and finding that there are sufficient substantially competent evidence to find violations of sections 30-169 of the city code due to deteriorating paint viewed from public right of way. Section 30-169 due to mold and mildew visible from public right of way. Section 30-3210 roofing and disrepair. Section 30-32A1 due to accumulations of cut vegetative matter in the front yard of the property. And 30-32A10 missing components in the roof. We're going to find it appropriate to enter an order finding the violations and requiring that the owner take the necessary step to bring the property into compliance within, what's the county, city requesting? How many days?
Sir,
How many days?
120 days.
To bring the property into compliance within 120 days from today's hearing. That will be at the end of business on October 16th, 2024. In the event of non-compliance, a fine of $25 per day per violation shall commence on October 17th, 2024. All right, final case. This is case number 2024-57. Property located at, what is this, 1900 Napoleon Street, is that correct?
No, so it should be 1315 Laurel Street.
All right. Look, okay. Yeah, the addendum got the wrong address on it. I got it.
Okay,
I got it. Yeah, the front page got another address.
Oh,
on it.
okay.
It helps me to keep it consistent. Proofreading helps.
Yes, sir.
A lot. And I know you got a lot of this, but still. So the property is 1315 Laurel Street,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And the property owner is Principal Partners Group LLC, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Their mailing address 11528 West State Road, Suites 1061, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33355. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone here representing Principal Partners Group LLC? Seeing and hearing no one, we mentioned the official address of record, and did you send certified letter to that address?
Yes, sir.
Is that the official address found on the property appraiser and tax collector's rolls?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you get a green card back?
No, sir. I spoke to the property owner on 5/16/24, and he
Who
knew
is the
that the
property
magistrate,
owner?
sir.
The corporation owns it. Who did you speak to?
I don't have it.
Is this a case of first impressions?
Yes, sir.
First hearing?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's some green cards in here that look like they were signed.
I think the notice of, the violation of compliance letter was sent back, but I didn't get a notice of hearing.
Well, May 2nd, 2024, there was a green card signed by someone at
Yes, sir.
the address. It looks like and they put a stamp right over it, which just really helps. Then there was another one that looked like it was signed.
Yes, sir. This was a case that we had for last month, and we didn't do the
So why are we back this month?
because we had a change of date, so we're back at this. We had magistrate last month.
All right.
The city of Palatka
So
did.
they signed the green card for last month's hearing.
And then I sent a change of date also to the
All right.
same.
So you sent a
address.
new notice and didn't sign the green card?
Yes, sir.
Right. Did you post the property in
Yes, sir.
accordance with state law?
Yes, sir.
And did you have your affidavit of service of that posting included in the record?
Yes, sir.
All right. You did say you talked to someone,
Yes, sir.
but you don't know who?
Thought I put it down. No, sir, I did.
When did you talk to this person?
5/14/2024.
And what was the conversation?
He said
regarding
he,
the violations
well, I talked to him on 5/14, and he said that,
of this year?
yes, and he said he got the change of notice of hearing from one of the guys that came down to check his property out, that he recognized it.
Okay. But did he indicate they were going to do anything to comply with any of this?
He said that he was sending some guys down to frame the house up, but that never happened. He said he's sending some guys down to clean the trash and debris up, and that never happened.
Alright.
To this day, it hasn't happened.
All right, it looks like the city is alleging this file is a little less helpful. It looks like you're alleging a violation of 30-169, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And 30-176
Yes, sir.
and 30-32A,
Yes, sir.
3 violations.
Yes, sir.
Right, they just didn't have a summary sheet listing them, so I'm gonna go. So 30-169 deals with every part of a visible structure, every part of a structure visible from a public right of way or abutting a street should be made structurally sound. 30-176, exterior property of structures regulated by this article should be kept free of nuisances. And any hazards to the safety of occupants, customers, pedestrians, other persons utilizing the premises, free of unsanitary conditions. On 30-32A, prohibited conditions, accumulation of trash, junk, debris, living or non-living plant material, hazards, trees, stagnant water, excessive unintended growth, and trash and debris.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you got 3 violations. Did you have some demonstrative evidence for us?
Yes, sir.
Did you take the photos you're about to show us?
Yes, sir.
Do the photos accurately represent the condition of property on data which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This is picture 1A. This is on Laurel Street. The address is 1315 Laurel Street. This was taken 3/15/24. This is the front of the house.
So what is the issue there? You're citing 30-169?
Yes, deteriorating structure of burnt building.
So what is the solution for this owner? What do you want them to do?
Repair or replace.
Well, you have to understand something. You say something like that, but I mean, they need to notice that just exactly what compliance is going to be.
Get the proper permits and demolish.
You don't think it can be repaired?
No, sir.
When the owner called you and said he wanted to frame it up, what was your response to that?
The same expression on my face. I don't like telling people to demolish. I don't like telling people.
You understand why I'm asking?
Yes, I
I'm
understand.
not trying to be difficult.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna find them.
Yeah, I understand. I'm
put a
not.
lien on their property,
I'm
you
just
should be
saying,
able to tell them what
it
they
wasn't
need to
anything to
do.
frame up. They could frame the windows up, but the front building is nothing to frame up. There's nothing they can do.
So this house has been burned?
Yes, sir.
Was there a fire marshal's report on this or anything?
I didn't get it, but yes, sir. I spoke to the fire marshal. Yes, sir.
What did he say the condition of the house was?
And there wasn't.
I'm sorry?
They say it wasn't. I didn't ask him that.
Okay. I guess I'm just asking, what's the city's position on what will bring the property into compliance? That's what
Demolition.
All right. And is the house gutted? Is it-
Yes, sir.
All right, the fire burned the house?
Yes, sir.
On the inside as well as
Yes,
the
sir.
outside? So you think it's not structurally sound at all,
No, sir.
just from your observation?
Yes, sir.
All right,
This picture, Sonny. This is 1B taken 6/13/2024. Same condition, and I'm from standing on Laurel Street.
again, are there any interior walls in the house you can see from the street?
Sir.
Are there any interior walls?
No,
in
sir.
the house that you can see from the street?
No, sir.
So the fire has burned all those walls out of the house?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has the fire burned through the exterior walls?
No, sir.
I can kind of see opening there
Yes, sir.
through the front. Is
Yes,
that the
sir.
porch or is that an exterior?
I
wall?
think that's a porch because the next couple of pictures are so the side of the house.
Show me some more then.
Okay. Next picture, Sonny. That's the side of the house.
All right.
That's the west side of the house. Standing on South 14th Street.
So is the roof looks fairly intact?
Yes.
But that's burn marks over the two doors in the center?
That's them two
windows
windows.
in
Yes,
the
sir.
center?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And 2B, Sonny. This is taken 6/13/2024, same condition, standing on South 14th Street.
All right. This house is on a corner?
Yes, sir. Corner of Laurel and South 14th.
Right.
Next picture, Sonny. This is 3A. This is the east side of the house.
On this elevation, are there parts of the side of the house that are missing?
No, sir. That's a pallet. Somebody put. That's part of the trash and debris.
I'm sorry?
No, sir. That's a pallet. That's a part of the trash and debris that somebody left
I'm
there.
looking on the side of the house. It looks like it's dark. It looks like the roof is.
No, it's still
collapsing on
there.
top.
No, sir. It's still there.
So is that side of the house intact?
Yes, sir.
It's just burned?
Yes, sir.
It's scorched? if
Yes,
you
sir.
will? All right.
Yes, sir.
But the roof it's collapsed through the front.
Yes.
All right. So this is about what? Just deterioration of the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This picture, Sonny.
Next. Same elevation?
Next picture, Sonny. This is 4A. This is the rear of the house. This is the north facing I'm on South 14th Street.
So what needs to be done there?
It's part of the whole house and just need to be demolished. Get the proper permits.
Well, I'm just looking. Again, you haven't had a chance to inspect the house because you
No,
don't
sir.
get to go in and do it. If the fire marshal come in and condemn this, or the building official condemn this house?
Yes, sir. They probably would.
Well, I didn't ask you probably.
They
I asked you,
would.
did
They would. Okay.
Okay.
This is 4B. The takes picture taken 6/13/2024.
All right. So what needs to be done? So you're still saying it still needs to be demolished?
Yes, sir. This is trash and debris. This is picture 5A.
Remember, you're trying to convince me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is 5A. This picture was taken.
Okay. What is that? Okay, you need to tell me, I know you're tired,
Yes, sir.
okay? But you need to tell me what the violation is and specifically what you see on that photograph that supports the violation and what you want done about it.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the violation?
Go back to the second picture.
Okay, go back.
Go back to
Okay,
the rear of the
so
house.
all this is trash and debris in the yard.
Yes, sir.
So basically everything on the ground and leaning against the fence, does that need to be removed?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all I need to know.
Okay. This picture,
What's
son.
next?
This picture taken 6/13/2024, and the trash and debris is still there, and it all need to be removed from the property.
All right, so basically, what about the vegetation?
That wasn't there at first.
Next,
This is the exterior property with the mold and mildew and trash and debris around the exterior property. This is picture 6A taken 3/15/2024.
so basically the yard needs to be cleaned of this trash and debris that's all man-made,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And the shed need to be pressure washed.
Well, if they're gonna demolish it, is pressure washing really gonna help?
They could keep the shed.
So I need to have the city clarify for me just what, again, what the solution is, because one time you say pressure wash, the other time you say demolish it.
That's a shed. That's not part of the
No, that is a exterior structure. He's talking about the shed pressure washer.
Okay,
The house itself is still, we're taking the stance
All
that
right,
it
my
need to be
bad.
demolished.
okay, that's fine.
in this picture,
And that
son.
can be seen, where are you standing on this?
South 14th Street.
Okay, so you're on public
Hey,
body.
the clerk asked for one person to tell me next picture because you guys are kind of going back and forth.
So we're looking at 6A.
Yes, sir. 6A, taken 3/15/2024.
So we have trash and debris in the yard and mold and mildew on the shed,
Yes, sir.
not the house.
Yes, sir.
So the violation of mold and mildew is on the shed.
Yes, sir.
Did you actually cite them for public mold and mildew?
Yes, sir. That's 30-176 exterior property.
On which one?
They're 30-176 exterior property. Where it says on the exterior
Again,
property.
I don't have the sheet that's got what you cited them for. All I've got are the ordinances. And I got 3 ordinances. I've got 30-169, I got 30-176 and 30-32A.
Yes, that 30-176 exterior property,
Okay,
sir.
176 is,
It should be highlighted for you at the
Okay.
top.
structures regulated. 176 talks about kept free of nuisances, hazards to the safety, occupants, customers, pedestrians. I'm just looking at the mildew.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't say mildew. There's an ordinance on mildew.
Yes, sir.
How does 176 apply to this?
I consider it a nuisance.
I'm sorry?
I said I would consider it a nuisance.
All right, you're saying it's unsanitary conditions?
Yes, sir.
You need to be prepared to tell me how it applies. All right, what's next?
Next picture, son, please. Sorry. That's just a closer picture from
Shed,
from
okay.
South 14th Street. Same picture, 6/13/2024.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, last call for anyone representing Principal Partners Group LLC. Seeking hearing of one and finding the due process has been satisfied. And I think I have the ordinances in some kind of order. 30, we're going to find that there's substantial and competent evidence to find a violation of 30-169 due to the fact that the building has the structure is visible from the public right of way, specifically, again, what's the address?
1315 Laurel Street.
13th Street. Is not structurally sound due to fire. And that violation is 30-176. The exterior property areas of structures shall be free of any hazards such as unsanitary conditions, and that applies to the shed.
Yes, sir.
And then 30-32A, prohibited conditions and public nuisances due to the accumulation of trash, junk, or debris. This is mostly man-made debris
Yes, sir.
littered about the yard,
Yes, sir.
some of it resulting from the fire on the property.
Yes,
The
sir.
city's position is that the house really can't be saved. It needs to be demolished. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We're on the same page with that?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to enter an order finding the 3 violations, and the city's asking for how much time for compliance?
120 days.
How much?
120 days.
120 days from today's date. That'll be by the end of business on October 16th, 2024. In the event of non-compliance, fine in the amount of $25 per day per violation shall commence on October 17th, 2024. All right, there being no further business for the special magistrate, we're going to adjourn the proceedings today at 4:25.